The condition of a Virginia teacher who police say was shot in the chest by a student has been upgraded to stable condition. The shooting happened at Rich Neck Elementary in Newport News.
The Virginia elementary school teacher allegedly shot by a 6-year-old student. The 25-year-old first grade teacher was shot in the chest Friday. Philip Jones, the mayor of the city of Newport News, now says her condition is trending in a positive direction. The 6-year-old male student is in police custody. Police say there was some sort of altercation in the classroom before the shooting.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. This shooting is the third in the Newport News public school system, which includes that elementary school, since September 2021. A woman is dead after she was thrown from her horse in the Florida Panhandle. Authorities say it happened in the town of Baker after the 56-year-old woman had just competed in a rodeo. A warning for customers of a fast food chain who use its app. Fox's Richard Jordan explains.
Chick-fil-A is asking anyone who uses their mobile app to update their password after some users reported fraudulent activity. The chicken sandwich chain released a statement after customers posted messages to a community Facebook page in the Atlanta area where Chick-fil-A is headquartered. The company says it's investigating to determine the source of the issue and is taking steps to secure affected accounts and enhance its security protocols. Chick-fil-A assured customers that the suspicious activity is not due to a compromise of internal systems. Richard Jordan, Fox News.
The U.S. Forest Service says it will remove more feral cows that roam New Mexico's Gila National Forest. Officials say the cows caused damage by overgrazing and trampling stream banks. Feral cattle have inhabited the forest since the 1970s, and officials began removal efforts in the 1990s. More than 200 cows may still remain. I'm Joe Giro, Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tenactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Half a day and good morning, Guam at 6:06 on Monday, January 9. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A woman was driving down the street in Dedido when she saw a car that was stolen from her in November and followed it. The woman had borrowed the car from someone else and left the keys on the kitchen counter of a relative's house, only to find the keys and the car gone moments later. Last month, Cherlyn Bernard was charged with vehicle theft in connection with the case, but the vehicle was not recovered. On Friday, the woman following the stolen vehicle called police when they reached a dead end in Laddie Heights. 28-year-old Eileen Max John was identified as the driver of the stolen vehicle. She claimed she didn't steal it and that some unknown men left the car on the property. John was arrested with theft by receiving and resisting arrest. Meanwhile, a 3-year-old child was taken to GMH on Saturday morning for observation following a structure fire on Santa Ana Lane in Asan. Fire Department spokesperson Kevin Riley says they received a call at around 2:30 in the morning and found a concrete home with a wood and tin extension on fire. The family of 4 was already safely out of the home when firefighters arrived, but the child was taken to the hospital for possible smoke exposure. The family is now in need of the community's help to recover from the unexpected incident Asan Maina Mayor Frankie Salas was on the scene shortly before GFD gained control of the fire and explained that the back of the house was a shop for construction. He says the fire started there and the smoke went into the house. Salas spoke with Red Cross and coordinated an effort to assist the family. We'll have more news after this.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup.
Including working with SBA or GITA. Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Traffic delays are expected today as crews prepare Marine Corps Drive intersections for the transport of heavy equipment for the new Ukadu power plant. Traffic signal span wire replacements are taking place at routes 1 and 4 throughout the day, and crews will be working at the intersection of Route 1 and 5th Street in Hagåtña from Wednesday through Friday. The necessary replacement project is scheduled to be active from 9 to 3. Contractors are moving wires at intersections along Route 1 to get ready for the transport of power plant parts from the port to the site of the new plant in Dedido. They will begin the transport later this month, moving at about 1 mile per hour. Doosan spokesperson Tyler Matanani says the public will be notified in advance through different communication channels before the transport begins. And as of midnight Saturday, the 31-month COVID-19 public health emergency finally ended. Governor Leon Guerrero maintained that the public health emergency was necessary for Guam to keep its emergency SNAP allotment. In a video message, the governor said that the administration is working with federal partners to ensure that measures are in place to continue the provision of the emergency allotment for SNAP households to address the food insecurity. She adds that she will be issuing a separate emergency declaration for this limited purpose after receiving advice from the administering federal agency. Despite the lifting of the public health emergency, Leon Guerrero says the Guam National Guard will continue to assist in limited response efforts such as vaccinations. The federal public health emergency is scheduled to expire on January 11, but the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has recommended another 151-day extension. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
So they just now got around to calling somebody in the Fed and asking, hey, how did Hawaii do this?
Right?
How did they end their public health emergency?
I was wondering about that. What took them so long? If that was the issue.
I'm thinking the dragging of the feet was probably intentional on that one. I just got that feeling. Yeah, we'll get around to asking that. In the meantime, we got the big gala coming up on Friday night, so we better have something to crow about, right? So
You're so positive this morning, man.
Yay! Public health emergency is over. Thank you very much. Aren't you glad you voted for me? Well, no, I am actually very happy about things this morning. Today, it's a good morning. We got a full work week ahead of us.
Yeah.
Unlike the last couple of weeks, we got the Monday off here and a Monday off there.
Yeah, they
people get
shorted
lazy.
us.
They get that gaggoitis, for heaven's sakes. And now look at us. We get to enjoy the benefit and the dignity of work for the entire week, and I think that's a good thing. Are we supposed to do weather now?
I believe so.
Long weekend, man. You're gonna have to retrain me, bro. There was some weird. So yesterday I'm looking out the window and going, it's like night and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was so dark and rainy. You get the same thing up in
No,
Gagnon
not in
Heights?
the Gagnon Heights.
Did not rain at all in
You know
Gagnon
Carl
Heights.
Gutierrez lives up there with me, man.
Total sunshine, baby. All right, so here's what we got for you today. Showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm. Where's that going to be coming from? We'll get this up on the screen so you can see what the weather guys are looking at right now. It says possibly thunderstorms. Some of the storms could produce heavy rainfall today. Cloudy, highs near 84 degrees. Northeast winds up to 11 miles an hour. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight and all day and all night tomorrow as well. By Wednesday, according to this weather forecast, we might be back to partly sunny skies. Regular daytime highs around 86 degrees. Today, the heat index up around 90 degrees and a 70% chance of rain. And then the usual stuff here. We got the rip current warnings, flood warnings, hazardous, probably still man of war washing up over the beach over at Pirates Cove and everything on that side of the island. Now, last week I was making jokes about krakens, right? So be careful on the water.
That wasn't a joke, right?
Kraken. In one of the Guam Daily Posts, I forget which edition it is, there is a story where they're asking the question, what we know about the Kraken COVID variant. There we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. More fear porn coming from the media. What we know about the Kraken COVID variant, and so they give it a scary
Oh,
name.
they're biting your words, man.
Right? This is Kraken COVID. So they give it already the scary name, but when it comes down to is it more dangerous than previous variants, they say, well, there haven't been significant differences in severity reported between cases like the XBB.1.5 and previous variants. But we're going to give it a scary name anyway, so you'll keep getting vaccinated and boosternated and wearing your mask out in public.
Kraken's not in the Greek alphabet, is it?
Don't know which number it is. Like I said, it's more of the fear porn there. Like there's not enough already for us to be agitated about. At any rate, 6:13 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show, 888-820. Is it time to start? No. News and weather together. So I'm already ahead of myself. Being brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
Your crack is showing.
My what?
Look at all those cracks on your phone screen. Dude, you need a new phone.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, then you need to check out GTA's trade-in deal. Trade in your old phone and get up to $800 in credit towards a new phone.
That's enough to get a new iPhone 14.
Please hurry, because I am tired of looking at your crack.
For a limited time, get up to $800 towards your new smartphone with eligible trade-in and unlimited plan. Visit GTA retail stores or GTA.net for details. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, we start with you.
Guam Community College Spring 2023 late registration starts Monday, January 9th through Friday, January 13th. New students can apply at guamcc.edu/apply or in person at GCC. Returning students can register, add, or drop classes using their MyGCC login. Register or apply now, online or on campus at Building 2000 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., January 9th till the 13th. Stop thinking about getting back into the classroom and just do it.
Do it. Your crack is showing. God bless you, GTA. That's the way you do. That's the way you do marketing, guys. Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Let's get this thing started here. I don't know if I got another week of talk radio in me, but I'm going to try, Real Joe. I'm going to try to just, get it all out of my system and just, talk about experiences and observations and news stories and things like that. Hey, welcome to the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled, as usual, to be here with you on I'm going to call it a beautiful morning because it didn't rain while I was getting my morning stuff together. Got in the car.
You're not soaked.
Drove to work. No, it was nice. And I noticed that the Christmas elves came into the radio station and have undecorated the place.
Way to go, Ray.
For the most part, I didn't even have to write a memo or anything. It just Monday morning, and this after the Three Kings, and everything is gone and taken care of. Well, but there is sadness here this morning, and I ran into a story. I was looking at the front page of Yahoo this morning, and I wasn't able to look at the whole page. The screen was I needed to scroll up. But there's a story that I saw. It's 8 is enough star found. And that never, there's no found, like healthy. They're never, hey, it was found really having a good time and enjoying life at 53 years of age. And the sad news here is that Adam Rich, the star Nicholas from 8 is Enough is dead. He was 53 years old.
The cutest one.
He was the cutest one. Well, I've got a picture of him in the story from CNN's entertainment branch, and it says 8 is Enough actor rose to fame as a child, playing the youngest of the Bradfords. Nicholas on the TV drama 8 is Enough has died, according to the L.A. County Medical Examiner, 54 years of age. There's not always a great thing being a child star. Ran into some problems, as many of them do And some of you might even remember when he got in trouble with the law. And his TV dad had to bail him out. Do you remember that?
No. Vaguely.
Yeah.
Corona.
I mean, it's like that. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. It's probably only COVID. It's
You're
the
vaccinated,
Kraken,
Ray.
the Kraken version of. Is that what you got there, Donna? It's the Kraken version of COVID.
I'm just gonna crack you, dude.
I'm over. I'm over. It's exactly like that. So I'm over at Carabao yesterday for the Sando, and I got, and you know this about me. Every once in a while, I'll get the sneezes, right? I'll get the sneezes, and it was like 5 sneezes, and finally the guy sitting next to me is going, "Hey man, are you okay?" I said, "Don't worry about it, bro. It's only COVID." Yeah. He kind of giggled for a second. I said, but really, when you think about it, I think if I had to get it again, I probably would be okay with that, as opposed to the flu that some people have had recently. Your kid among them, that just knock you on your butt for 3 or 4 days. I'm here to tell you, there are people
right in the crack.
Yes, there are people right now that are having the flu, and it is worse than when they had the actual COVID. 6:19 in the mornings. Anyway, Real Joe gets the phone when you call. 888-8255-888-TALK is the phone number. 797-8255. That's the number for the meme machine. And I'm going to take advantage of the meme machine here and throw up some pictures of my Saturday. Had an obligation to my hiking crew, and it involved spending some time up at Tengisan.
Nice.
Yeah, but on the good side of Tengisan, right?
Off the beaten path.
Well, they got a gate up there,
kind of.
So so you don't have all these sketch people kind of rolling around here, because they, Well, I think when you've got like enough meth in your system, you can't climb over the fence. They just kind of look at it, and go ah. So this was like the nice side of Tengisan that day. So there's a shot northbound, and then I got another shot looking in the other direction.
Yeah, Saturday, man. Window, right? It was a window of opportunity.
It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous out there. I was hanging out with some groovy people, and then it got to be sunset. Oh, would you look at that sunset over at Tengisan? If you're listening on the radio, it's pretty, okay? And it's a pretty shot that you don't normally get, because when people go up there, they normally go by where the mushroom rocks are.
Yeah.
Overplayed. There's just, I think it's there's just, too much. People make too much of a big deal. Oh, look, Mushroom Rock. Hey, look, the sunset's in the other direction, baby. 6:20 in the morning, and then I got bored yesterday while I was waiting to go and do my Sunday. And I've talked about spending just way too much time on TikTok, and I thought, what I'd like to do is to try out one of those TikTok filtery things. Have you seen that? It's the Manga AI.
What is this, man?
You tap the screen, and then it will do a little countdown thing as the what is it the artificial intelligence tries to decide, bam, what kind of manga character you're going to turn into.
Wolverine.
It's Wolf
Hello,
Boy.
Wolverine.
It's Wolf Boy. Yeah, and on the thing. But everybody should try that. If you don't have TikTok on your phone, download it before they make it illegal. Download the thing before Google and Meta find a way to make it illegal. What's the matter? You're not a TikTok person? You don't want it? Okay, then you don't have to, but it's not like you can just tell everybody no, because I don't like it. Anyway, 6:21 in the morning. Give that a shot. There's all kinds of other stuff floating around on the meme machine, and I'll get around to playing some of those. In fact, there's do I have the one right now? Do I have the absolute latest? You will see this on the internet. You will find this. So Ismael Velez, his wife, unbelievable, like you, very, very talented, great mom, super wife, and also an incredible photographer. Does great baby shots, great family shots, and every once in a while will drag the family out and make them stay up all night so she can get these long exposures of the Milky Way. That is the Milky Way, as seen.
Nice.
You know where that is? Do you know where that spot is?
Agate?
It's in Agate. Yes, absolutely right.
Wow, that's here?
That is here.
Bonsai.
There's I forget the name of what the name of the beach is. That area there. It's easy to get to.
Sandflea Beach.
Sandflea and Fire Ant beaches. I recall it's Sandfleas and Fire Ants,
man.
In the place. So
that's what I remember, man.
I know. There's a Japanese bunker there. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a spit of a hill, and you get to the top of it, and there is an opening that will take you down into a little Japanese bunker that they've got there. And as far as I know, that little island with the tree has always been there.
Yeah,
I think we make that an incredible like family vacation spot. As soon as we kill all the sandfleas and the fire ants that are down there. Anyway, Donna D's going to take care of news and big headlines, and we've got a whole bunch of interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about here this morning. Front page with Doug Moylan saying we are going to get to the bottom of this issue here with the people having so much incredible access. It's just as easy to get your hands on crystal methamphetamines and tobacco and marijuana and cell phones in the prison as it is outside the prison. And he says that's going to be on my radar. That's going to be on my list.
That's where I get mine, right?
Things to right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
just pull up to the fence and hey,
just wait until somebody tosses something over in your direction. I'm with you. I'm making light of it, but you talk to some of the people that come out of there, and they're going, "Yeah, it's meth in prison, no problem. We figure out how to do all that. Trade that for some cigarettes or kind of man love or whatever it is." But anyway, so we've got all kinds of stories and stuff that we're going to be talking about this morning. 6:24. In the meantime, let's start talking about these superheroes here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Oh, look at this picture. I got another picture. This has not been sent to me on a meme machine. I found it on Facebook or someplace, and I copied it, and then I sent it to myself so I could put it up on the screen. This is what Tumon used to look like once upon a time.
Nice.
Probably the area right in front of where Barney's used to be, and people would go out there and drink beer and wear their bikinis.
Dinner cruise thing?
There was it used to be 3 or 4 of these dinner cruise deals that would go from one end of Tumon to the other, and there'd be somebody up there playing a guitar and a couple of Tahitian, Polynesian dance troops and
barbecue.
I remember the food on these things was actually pretty good, and it was a 2-hour ride.
Drinks?
Oh yeah. Water it down. and the thing is, these things are no draft at all. I mean, they literally floated on the water. And the fun thing was, and some of you might remember this, some of you might have been with me when they used to just kind of leave them there on the beach. And just kind of trust people not to mess with them. And if it was low tide at night, you could walk out there, maybe another 10 or 15 feet from the shore, walk out there and have your own little personal party out there, you and a couple of friends and whatever 6-packs you brought with you, and have, like I said, your own kind of grown-up fun. And there was nobody, like people it's a whole different Guam back then, because you could, like I said, they trusted you. Look, if you make a mess, clean it and take your crap with you when you leave. And as far as I know, nobody ever trashed any of those boats because I think everybody wanted to maintain the presence of them. So next Saturday night, we could go and have another one of those late night in the moonlight parties on the boats. Come on, don't tell me I wasn't the only one that did that. 6:26 in the morning of the Ray Gibson Show. Let's see who are my top fans this morning. Beautiful Sarita Garin saying Magandang umaga to the Point Familia. Auntie Bennett Lujan. Dwayne, this is on. Big man Rico Blancaflor.
Big man.
Big man, we're going to take your latest, your profile picture on Facebook, and I'm going to send it through the Manga AI and see what happens. Otherwise, ask your daughter to do it. We got John Ray Taito online, Keenan McCausland. Football Sunday, fun day. Did anybody watch the Jaguars Titans game yesterday?
No, I was praying for Dumar.
No, you're praying for Dumar. I can't watch football until he's back with the Buffalo Bills. Won't be able to watch that. How did the NFL handle the game? Because they just stopped it, right? They just stopped the game.
They just stopped
and canceled it, and it's not like they picked it up and went on with it. You know, they could have continued the game after DeMar was taken off the field. They could have just kept going, but for whatever reason, they didn't. Am I suspicious? Do I think that there might be some kind of deep state thing going on here? You never know. You never know. But anyway, so more on that. We'll talk about today's games in just a little bit. But if you wanted to know what the score was, I don't remember the score. I just remember the Jaguars won because the Titans fumbled the ball, kind of sort of in like the last part of the third quarter, the first part of the fourth quarter, and then that was it because the Titans were in a lead all the way through until then. And let me see, the Jaguars picked up the ball, got a touchdown, extra point, and everybody went home in tears. Joanna Taitano, Habade, good morning to Point family. Frank Meadow, that's Bunker, Jose Tetpago, Buenas and Habade to Dave Dumke. And what's that? Rico Blanca for Piga's Best, The Point, Maganda Numaga, Point Fam Bam. Manny and Ningrageous online. Evelyn P. Bernardo is there. I got Patrick A. and Martha Toves. Big news here from the VFW and Gigo. They did not get a winner on Friday night for the Queen of Hearts jackpot. It's not almost $4,000. It is $4,000. That's what they've got. If you know, and the thing is, if it was a penny more than $4,000, I'd be able to say almost $5,000 worth. But that's a big jackpot. Next drawing is Friday at 7:00. And just a note here, if you remember, how many cards are left on the thing? How many cards do we have left on the board? That's what inquiring minds want to know. And to Bennett, like I said, Felix Bamba's there. Sarita starting her morning right with us. That's nice. I appreciate that. Juanita Machi, good morning to John Marich. Ron Castro, our favorite guy artist here. Dennis Larson says, the ark is almost done. Bring 2 of each animals you have up to the farm. We will take extra hot women. Must be able to clean and cook. Does Vivian know you wrote this? This is a rolling pin to the back of the head if you're not careful there, bro. Nadine, Gokwe, Palomo, Buenas and Havade, the MT Farron, John Santos. Let me see. Bill Petit's online. Good to see you there, Brad. Brad Wood is watching and listening on the program. So is big man Mark S. Cruz doing his wavy thing. Marla Carbolito Castro is there. Oh, no. Dennis Larson says 3 dogs perished. Not sure what that's referring to. Hope everybody's okay. And, you know, I know it's a tough thing to say, but, you know, there's tons of replacements out there. All over Facebook, there's images of people just kind of walking around, and then, bam, there's puppies. Yeah. Just look kind of anywhere. You'll be able to find them. Greg Baz Knight online here. I got Henry Manglotnia from, are we not saying where he's from? Jeff Pleadwell. I know that guy from over at Pirates Cove. Vivian Castro Leon. Dave Duenas, Savabiba to you. Dennis Larson says, at least the power equipment will move faster than our government. It's power on the move, bro. Power on the move. Well, you know, in the defense of the government, and I'll be careful how I say that because I got a note from somebody over the weekend, said, Ray, have they gotten to you? Are they trying to control you and control your words? And I'm like, no. Have I taken it easy on the government?
No.
No, right?
No. I don't think so.
All right. I'm just kind of curious. But
I'd have a problem with that, man.
I would, too. I would correct myself right quick. Carl Myers online saying back in the Chamorro Standard Time Zone. Last time we heard from Carl Meyer, he'd sent pictures of Mount Fuji, which was in the clear. Ruel the Drewster Rilon. Jose Tetpago says, you nailed the intro and sounded good. Great job, D. Jason Dinkle. And I'm looking now for, there's Tom Tahazi. Colin Clark says, baby-making weather. BMW, that's what we called that. Boca something Mago. Sabrina Salas Matanani is watching. So she put a post up over the weekend, something about stay tuned.
Oh, yeah, morning, Bree.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
You're not going back there, are you? Come on, 25 years. 25 years is enough. Are you going to be hanging out with cousin Troy over at Candid?
Yes.
Rumors. Let's start spreading rumors, Sabrina. And again, your daughter's doing a great job with poweronthemove.org. Henry Manlo, Jason, Military Auto Source Guam, saying yo. Francis Duffy, Julie Jardon, John Harold Manglotnia Napati is online with us this morning. There's the Burger King, Rudy Rodolfo. It's Monday, drive-through appreciation, and you know what that means. Oh, you don't? Well, do the drive-through and find out. Could be good for a free Whopper for you. Joe Dizon, Dave Herrera, who is really seriously, Dave, I'll tell you what, if you want to be my campaign manager, maybe I'll entertain the idea of running. Because I got to tell you, it looks like Chris is having all the fun at the legislature.
Yes, sir.
And then you cannot imagine. I'm not going to say there's like a sibling rivalry thing because I'm older, but I'm looking at him over at the legislature, going, man, that could have been me. Could have been me. So Dave, there it is. If you want to, you have to take care of everything because I am the laziest guy you know. Verna Sargaloff Mendiola watching the program. So is Gerald Young, Big Sister Shelley online. John Savares checking out the program.
Morning, John.
Happy Monday and Nuevo Ani to friends and familia, Gisaipan and NMI. Yes, it is a new day dawning, breaking over the people of the CNMI as their new governor and lieutenant governor have taken the helm, and Peaches, no, not Peaches, Cheeto.
No,
Ralph
yeah,
Cheeto has apparently moved out of the office.
How come we didn't go, man?
I don't know. It's a weird story. Again, so there's Chris Barnett posts over the weekend. It's a picture of him, Cousin Troy, and Eric on their way up to Saipan.
In the way back of the plane.
In the way back on the airplane. That's the cool part. Cool kids sitting in the back, smoke cigarettes, roll joints. Tattoo Shauna's online. Who else is playing around? Margaret Estacchio, Tim Zedekert, Bandits there. That's my way of stalling. Jose Martinez. Just writing Jeff Goldblum. Why?
You.
Huh? Oh, my cartoon, because I look like Jeff.
The Fly.
All right. Ew, but fine. Anna Marie, buenas day again. Valerie S.A. Untalano. Okay, I'm starting to see some repeat names here. Ron Castro, like I said, Dave Lazar, Dan Rasal, Ismail, Speaker finally elected. Another California, Mr. McCarthy Pelosi. Matt Gates now has hemorrhoids. Matt Gates, one of those guys. He just absolutely not for this McCarthy guy. And I don't know. I got a couple of things about McCarthy that I thought, well, wait a second, maybe he's not going to be the harbinger of change for the Republicans, because he actually apparently, according to a note that I got from somebody, and I don't know chapter and verse everything about McCarthy, but it says that he kind of he supported the mandatory vaccination of members of the U.S. military. Ooh, and I'm not in favor of pretty much mandatory anything, least of all with that at that time. I mean, and the lawsuits have begun. A story in one of the Guam Daily Posts about employees at Disney that were forced to get vaccinated or lose their jobs. You got to and wear the mask and do all that crap. Anyway, so they've got a lawsuit going against Disney because they wanted those jobs.
Oh, poor Disney.
Jack Larimer says, "Go Niners! Have a great weekend show." Thank you, bud. I got Heather Perez online, Alex Affligui, Jose Martinez. 2 Bs or not 2 Bs? That is the question, because it's talking about Dennis Larson, whatever. Okay, 31 cards left on the Queen of Hearts board, says the VFW dude. The amazing hot sister of the program, Pam Duvall, is online with us, and she knows how to get a hold of us on the meme machine. She sent us pictures of the latest rescue over at the house. The dog's name is Cheech.
Oh.
As in, I'm assuming as in Cheech and Chong.
Oh, so where's Chong?
And there's Daddy's feet in the thing. So how many does that make it, Pam? How many rescues? How many dogs do you have over at the house these days? Is there? How do you manage to feed all of them? My gosh. Let me see. Gary Show, just say Show, says, "Go Bills. Bring it on. Freedom of speech will never die on the point. If you can't handle criticism, you are in the wrong place." Agree. Lena McDaniel, Charles Craw, Roland Torres, Avadeta Mike and Grace Blas, Chad Nathan Sablon Oscura. I got EOD Kaboom. What do we know about EOD, guys?
Hot wines.
There we go. What's that? Cheech. Oh, Cheech, says Tattoo Shauna. Greyhound bus
wife,
out of the
man.
government. Okay, so a bunch of people online. Do me a favor. Hit the like or share button, please. Otherwise, I'll put that picture of Pam's husband's crotch back up on the
thank you,
screen.
Ray.
What's that?
I said thank you.
Don't make me. Oh, see, you made me do it.
There you go.
There it is. Beautiful. Hey. How about that Jigo weekend, huh? He's a Jigo low, right? 888-825-5888-TALK. Lots and lots to talk about. As I said, we've got the front page of the Guam Daily Post. Doug Moyland has gotten some free airtime, free ink on the Post, and why not? The story stems from a magistrate report that I'll read up to you a little bit later on about this guy. His name is it Dodo? Dodo. Dodu. His name.
Dodu.
Yes, maybe not Dodu. But the guy, this just how crazy the world is when you are in the meth land that some of these people live in. So he was already busted and had been incarcerated at the Department of Corrections, and for whatever reason, I guess the sentence had run out, or they weren't going to hold him anymore. So they let the guy out of jail. And the very next day, he goes out and tries to break into his, quote, old house or something like that. And the cops got up to him, did the arrest, found him, obviously, with some more meth. And said, what's the deal? Are you high? He said, no. The last time I smoked ice, I was in prison. So just, a couple of days ago was when and so the Attorney General, you get somebody over at the AG's office. And, oh, by the way, they've already changed the letterhead. I want to say that they did that last week, but if you pull down a printed magistrate report from the Attorney General's office, it now has a picture of Eric the Eagle. No, I'm kidding. But it does say Doug Moreland. They changed they're not leaving Camacho now. It is Doug Moreland in the thing. So Doug looks at that file. I said, no, we got to do something about this. We'll get with the guys and figure out what it's going to be. How do they keep drugs out of like mainland prisons, or do they? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that there is a way to do that. There's, for every individual that you got in prison, there's 3 or 4 people, I imagine, that would do anything and hide the drugs anywhere they possibly can, in order to make sure that your crystal methamphetamine needs are met when you get in there. And I want to say there was at least one judge, she's not there anymore, that had remarked with at least one of her defendants that she wasn't going to send him to jail because he would be able to get drugs just as easily inside as he could outside. So better if we put this guy outside and put him into one of these programs, and maybe he can get better that way. But it didn't. I'm sure it didn't work out that way. 6:38 in the morning. And did you buy any eggs over the weekend? I realized that there is a rush on eggs, or at least I'm hearing about a rush on eggs. And I told you last week about my little carton of eggs, and I was going to make one of those like hard-boiled 3 eggs. Oh yeah, it's just a great way to do breakfast. And I looked at the thing, and I remembered this might be the last eggs I get for a while. So I only took one, and I made it with Ichibang. One egg with my Ichibang and some Spam, and that was it. I'm going to stretch these things out until they, whatever the supply chain issue is gets resolved. In 20 minutes, it'll be 7 o'clock in the morning. Monday version of the Ray Gibson Show. Like, share, and follow on Facebook, YouTube, and that way, whenever we go live from in the studio, you'll get a blurb on it, and then you know that there's going to be some interesting things going on this radio station. More looks at the table of contents and some of the other stories that are making news and headlines here and abroad. But first, we got to jump into news and headlines. Our first big look at it with Donna D. Donna, it's time for the 6:30 news at 6:40. What's going on? What happened?
29-year-old Ryan J. Cruz was a customer at the OK Fun game room in Harmon before he robbed the place at gunpoint in early December, taking off with $2,000 in cash. Police were able to track him down and charged Cruz with second-degree robbery and theft of property. He was wanted in connection to at least 3 other robberies. Cruz admitted he robbed the game room with another unnamed suspect. And the Christmas season is finally over, and Gov Guam is offering free tree chipping services for fresh Christmas trees. The Department of Agriculture is taking those trees from today through the 18th, 8:30 to 12:30, across their Mangilao office on Dairy Road. Residents have the option to turn the tree into mulch, swap it for a native tree, or leave it on site. Residents can also collect the mulch for personal use. Please remove all decorations before dropping off the tree. And residents can expect to see Guam and some local actors on a Korean TV show soon. The cast and crew of the show Dolsing Foreman, meaning 4 divorced men, were recently filming in Tumon at the Beach Bar and Grill. The show airs on SBS, one of South Korea's largest broadcasting companies. On YouTube, some episodes reached more than 1 million viewers. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
All right, now they'll accept your Christmas tree. I'm assuming the real Christmas trees. Don't take your artificial ones down there. No, I'm sorry, man.
Is that where you took that tiny
technology?
One?
No, no. It's in the backyard. It's in the backyard.
The 2-footer?
Yeah, I kept it in. It's in the backyard now because I don't want the possibility that it'll burn the house down on the inside.
Are you gonna burn it in your backyard?
Not in my backyard.
In
But
your
yes.
neighbor's backyard?
Yes, yes. I
Kids don't do this at home.
Yeah, do it at your friend's house. So the answer is, yeah, I'm gonna burn the thing, but not necessarily in my backyard.
Have you tried barbecuing with it?
I don't know that you want that.
Yeah.
Because would it make it taste good? You know, like rosemary?
I don't know.
Can you try it?
No,
Please?
no. I'll give it to you. And
We're gonna smoke a whole brisket with that.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about it. There might be some. I don't know if you want that pine tree smell in your stuff. Interesting question. One of you guys look it up while the commercials are playing. Recipes that involve old Christmas trees. Work on that, why don't you? At 6:42 in the morning, we'll take a look at what's happening in traffic and more on the way.
Burger King says thank you to our drive-thru guests with a very special offer. Every Monday in the month of January, visit our drive-thru locations in Tumon or Hagåtña. Every 10th car will receive a Fire Grill Whopper coupon with your order. This is the King's way of saying Happy New Year to all of our guests. Serving your Fire Grill Whoppers daily from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. BK, Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. You rule.
Happy holidays, Guam. From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GVB will announce the theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instaguam to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate the season of giving.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Just real quick, you heard that spot from GVB just a second ago, and there is another $150 up for grabs. Starting this week, they're going to be looking at your sunrises. What, got beautiful pictures of Guam's sunrises. Jeff over at Pirates Cove, Sarita Garin could win you some money in the contest. Send them up to GVB. It's visitguam.com/Instaguam, not Instagram, but Instaguam. And the judges will take a look at it. And if they choose yours, $150. That'll make Thirsty Thursday that much more fun. 6:44 on the Ray Gibson Show. Oh, wait a second. Sunrise. Oh, man, my picture was a sunset picture over at the. All right. And maybe next week there'll be one for sunsets. We'll see. 6:44 in the morning. All right, time to take a look at what's happening on your roadways. Let me just put this map up on the screen and get me off of the screen so we can see what's happening on your roadways. Nothing major. A little bit of intersection traffic over up in Jigo, and then getting down to the Dededo area. Waisangsong running a little bit slower than normal all the way up to the junction. A little bit of traffic over at Ukadu 1 and 3. Looks like we've got some intersection traffic that is building up there. Same thing with Micronesia Mall at Route 16 over by Campley and Guerrero. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, southbound on Route 16 to 8, 10, and 16. Looking kind of okay right about now. Route 8 into town, good. Route 4 into town, likewise good. Then we get some central traffic into the downtown Hagåtña area. Don't see a whole lot that's going to slow you down. Basic intersection stuff. And then we've got some traffic over at Big Navy's main gate in Sumai. Looks like there might be a little bit of traffic over at the intersection where Polaris Point is. It's just called Polaris Point now. We don't actually have the Polaris missile that guards the place. One of these days, come on, Admiral. That's legacy stuff there. What's the guy's name? Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benjamin. No, Nicholson.
Thank you very much.
We'll help him paint it. We'll paint it cool, man.
Oh, dude. No primary colors. It'll all be like neons from like back in the 1990s. It'll be, come on, man, it'll be cool. You'll love it. Anyway, so one other thing is I posted the pictures up at Tingisan, and a buddy of mine wrote in the middle of the night is we've got to find a way, convince the government to do something with that property so that it's not, just trashed out all the time and headquarters for some real sketch people, right? I mean, you ever go there and go,
yeah,
okay, I didn't want to go to that part of the beach anyway.
I am the sketch people.
You are the sketch guy, and because it's just absolutely beautiful there. Now I'm told that somebody might be doing something like a B&B up in that area. They've cleaned up a stretch of the beach area
Yeah.
And I
Private
don't know, maybe
landowner,
bungalows
yeah.
or something. I don't know, current landowner. I don't know, maybe they're squatters. I don't know. I know very little about the thing, but I do know that it is absolutely gorgeous there, and one of those places where, you know what, government of Guam, look, hey, if you guys aren't going to do anything with it, let me have it. Let me and my friends, we'll take it over. We'll clean the place out. I'll put a proper gate up there, and I'll share the keys with the guys from GPA. So that, you know, they can dismantle. Yeah. But it would, you know what would be cool about, there's a place in Seattle, I want to say the Gas Works might be what it's called.
Okay.
But the idea is it used to be kind of this industrial area that had been abandoned, and people then started using it for concerts and festivals.
Cool,
yeah, and that would be a great place to have concerts or festivals. Now, I'm not an expert in the acoustic qualities, but it seems to me that you've got the ocean on one side, and then you've got the entire place that's kind of ringed by the cliff, and maybe that would be a great place to have the next big, you know, Tengisan Rocks or something like that. Somebody just some imagination, maybe some money, and we'll get that going. 6:47 in the morning. How was your weekend weather? It was, like I said, and Real Joe says, you know, just got a slice, just a carve out of some decent weather on Saturday into Saturday night, and it was absolutely gorgeous up in that part of the island. And then it got to be yesterday, and I don't recall the time where it wasn't either raining at my house or at Carabao, and then later on at my house again. I don't know that it came down in sheets like you know, we were kind of told it might moving into the weekend, but certainly a wet Sunday for a lot of people on Guam. With the details on what's going on with the weather, here's my bro Landon Idlet. Good morning, Landon.
Good morning, Ray.
So what happened yesterday? I mean, they were making predictions as long ago as Friday, saying, okay, it's going to be ugly this weekend. Get ready, biblical rain, inches and inches of rain, and stranded people on the roads, and don't go into the jungles because you're going to get swept away in the rivers. I don't know that it got that bad. Did we dodge a bullet over the weekend?
Yeah, fortunately, did not get that bad. There were a couple of flood issues yesterday, but nothing in a widespread frame of mind. We had the typical areas like in Barcenas housing area, Maritzo, and that river that cuts right along Route 4 down south. But that was really it. And we put out a local storm report of all the rain totals yesterday. And for about a 12 to 18-hour period, most of Guam saw between 2 and 4 inches of rainfall yesterday. So there's profound rainfall estimates of 8+ inches. That did not happen yesterday, and I think that was a little bit of a excessive forecast based on one model versus another. And so we had this dynamic situation with disturbance approaching, the shear line dropping down from the north, converging over the islands, and that's still occurring. But right now, today, I think we have a pretty decent day looking at us right now. We're going to have a fairly colorful sunrise this morning.
Oh, really? Like right now? I'm looking out the glass blocks. I just see the gray skies. But Sarita sent over some pictures, and I'm sure Jeff will send over. So I'll put those up on the screen a little bit later on so people can see maybe a gorgeousness, a little bit sunrise coming up here. I do see some clouds in the area, and you're right. It's hard to detect where they're going to be moving and where they're going to be moving around. So it looks like Rhoda and the rest of the scene might be getting a touch more weather than we are this morning.
That's correct, and of course we watch the belt of deeper convection that's situated near Rhoda, Tinian, and just south of Saipan where they're having the inauguration today. I believe it's an outdoor event at 10 o'clock, so this has been the stress of mine for the last several days, how things will play out, and I really think it's going to be fairly okay. It's not going to be a picture-perfect day for outdoor events, but they're going to have the winds up there. That shear line is dropped down to just south of Tinian. So if you look at the observations at the airport, right now it's not bad at Guam, about 5 to 7 miles per hour out of the northeast, but you go up to Anderson, it's around 10 to 12 miles per hour. Rhoda, about 13 to 15 miles per hour. And then Saipan, 18 to 20 with gusts up to 30 mile per hour winds up there. So they are feeling the winds up there. But the good news is the deep convective showers and thunderstorms that are been with this disturbance, that's just south of them, and it's more of a light to moderate showery rain and mist up there. And I think that will be within their tolerance. But it's still early. We're going to have to see how things fill in today because we are in that dynamic wet pattern across the region. So we'll be keeping a close eye on things as things evolve throughout the morning. But we may have a forecast update later today.
I got you.
For Guam, at least.
I got you. Well, one of the other things is, there are a lot of people doing some traveling around this time of year. It's, they've missed all the travel opportunities over the holidays, and now here we are in a new year. I know some folks are getting on planes, heading out to places like Japan. And I checked the weather in Japan yesterday, and it was remarkably warmer than I thought it was going to be. Even up in Hokkaido and up in the ski zones, I was surprised that the temperatures were as high as they were. Still cold by Guam standards, period. But in the 40s and in the 50s, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Is that a global notation? Are we seeing temperatures begin to drop, or is it going to turn into a little bit more of a benign winter?
Well, it's too early to say at this point, but this is the typical flux of weather, and we had the ridiculously cold weather across the United States for Christmas.
Right.
A week later, it was widespread 60s and 70s, and that's the fluctuations of weather, and so it's not it's too early to call it a one way or the other for the winter weather season. But locally, we do have that shear line that's going to be sticking in our area for a while. We're going to have those strong winds, those higher seas and surf, especially along north-facing reefs. That's going to be plaguing us locally at least through the next week. And that shear line boundary, it's going to be meandering up and down between Guam and Rota to northward to Saipan and Atahan. So that's not going anywhere for a while. We may have periods of showers and then periods of nice, fair, sunnier weather.
Look for the sunny skies. I'm okay with the wind. 6:53 in the morning. Landon, you have a fantastic rest of the day. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Talk to you very soon.
You know, at 888-8255. 888-TALK is the telephone number. A bunch of other folks on the list of interesting people to talk to on a Monday morning after, especially the weekend that we had. What did you end up doing? Was there a gala night for you? Did you get together with all of the other insiders over at the Deuced and have a good time? Did they have any cool games? Did they play any games?
Yeah.
The one where you blindfold the wives and you sit them down and the husbands they have to figure out who their husband is just by touching their face. Not so much. Did they do anything like that over at the gala? No. All right. Well, let's see if there's anything else that might have been otherwise entertaining. There's a couple other stories that I've got my eyes on here this morning. Traffic delays as the power on the move gets moving. I don't know that we're going to see any of that heavy equipment moving over the course of the week, but they have been doing the work. You've seen it out there with the guys making adjustments to traffic signals and knocking out portions of the medians. Just take them all down. Take them all down. And some people say, no, we need the medians, Ray, because that's the only thing that prevents, cars, northbound cars from leaving their lane and hitting the southbound cars. And I'm going, who cares? Wild, Wild West, bro. Come on. We survived that in the 60s. Marine Corps Drive for a long, long time did not have any medians on it. We didn't have any center lanes. You just decide, okay, I need to make a left turn. You stop the car, put your signal on, and hope nobody doggins you, right? That's the way it was back in the old days. And I'm here to tell you, so we didn't have meth back in those days. Maybe it's the thing when we put the medians down. Maybe that made it easier for people. And then the other thing. Oh, sorry. Let me just go from one absurd thought to another. If we 86 a bunch of the medians, and I'm not saying all of them. Okay, I won't say all of them. I'll just say the ones where we've got the freeloaders that are out there, thumbing for dough.
Yeah.
Including, oh my God, I saw a video. Over the weekend. Having never had the privilege of service, I don't know what a military dress uniform is supposed to look like. But there is a guy on Marine Corps Drive. Maybe you've seen him, and he wears a uniform, and he's got the sign, and he's hustling for cash out there. And you got the video? Did you see the video?
Oh yeah, I did.
There was, and I can't play it because the language is kind of colorful.
Like you, I can't.
In both directions. I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah,
but
it's not my place.
There are people that are hollering. This guy is. It's a case of stolen valor. Because there are things that are out of place in the uniform. One doesn't match with the service. One doesn't. You look at the board on his chest, and the things are out of order.
I made
on
reference to the shoes too.
And the
wear
shoes.
Those shoes.
Yeah,
man.
that's that. You're not allowed to do that
know.
kind of thing. So I don't know what's going on. I assume that if this guy was a vet and was having a hard time, his brother vets, VFW or American Legion or something like that, would have checked him out and make sure he's okay. But maybe because it's been going on so long, maybe they did, and maybe he has been confronted about that kind of thing, and none of those guys are doing or saying anything. So I'm kind of curious if you don't want to say what you know, that's fine. Put it in a meme machine, and I'll read that to everybody. I'll anonymize you, and then read the rest of your thoughts to everybody else. 6:56 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. So is it a question of stolen valor? And then what happens if we discover that it is? I don't know all about those kinds of things. I don't know to what degree there is a penalty for that kind of activity. At any rate, there's a couple of other interesting things that are floating around here in the newspaper. I saw this. Guam Daily Post does these weekly polls, and last week it had to do with how many visitors do you expect? Kind of a milquetoast.
Oh, yeah.
We need to fill some space. Somebody come up with a question quick. And so this week's question, now that our leadership issues over at the 37th Guam Legislature have been resolved, and I also want to give props to whoever deserves it. Congratulations. The 37th Guam website has been updated. It actually says 37th Guam Legislature on it. I haven't done too deep of a dive into it, but I thought it was interesting that they got that taken care of. It's probably job number. We have nothing else to do until we decide who the Speaker of the Legislature is. So we might as well make some changes to the website where we can, and they did. But online in the Guam Daily Post today, and you can go and vote on it. What should the top priority of elected leaders in 2023? What should be the top priority of elected leaders in 2023? First of all, people of the Guam Daily Post, they are not our leaders. They don't lead me. I don't follow them. They are my representatives. I voted them into the legislature, in the governor's office, wherever else. I voted them to represent me and my interests. That's the point. They are not our leaders. Stop telling them that they are our leaders, because it goes to their head and it makes it so that they think they can do anything they want to in these elected offices. They are our representatives. Maybe somebody over at the Post can change that by the time tomorrow's published newspaper comes out. Speaking of published newspapers, anybody seen the PDN lately? It's been like a month, right? Maybe longer that they've had it.
I always look at the rack when I walk in, man.
It looks
empty.
sad. It's sad and lonely. They should just take it out. Put a gumball machine there until
take me to your leader
until they get the toner or something. Like, I don't know what the hell the problem is. But at any rate, what should the top priority? Your choices are the economy, education, health, and public safety. And I hate to prioritize one way or the other, but for me, it's public safety. And one of the things I think I'm going to ask for. I don't know if Doug Moreland's going to have a chance to do this, or anybody over at the police department, is, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to be a part of everybody's, and you can take the meme machine number and add us anytime, but if you got a Village Watch group, add the meme machine, 797-8255. Add us to that. That way, because I'll tell you everything that's going on in MTM, because I'm a member of that watch group, but I don't know what's happening out in Manilao. I've got at least one message here coming in from guys that are saying, hey, die out there, because there's a guy running around with a Micronesian guy in the truck, and they're looking for houses to break into. And I thought that'd be interesting to share with my folks. So, yeah, 797-8255. Got to break away. It's 7 o'clock. Time for the news.
Order now a priority. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. President Biden touring a port of entry at the border in Texas as critics say it's too little, too late. The Secretary of Homeland Security says the administration is making adjustments at the border.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, traveling earlier with the president to El Paso aboard Air Force One, said as President Biden gets a firsthand look at migration into the country, changes in processing and enforcement are underway.
We surged 100 Border Patrol agents. We are, I believe, on Tuesday, going to be opening up a new soft-sided facility that will be able to process up to 1,000 migrants a day.
Secretary Mayorkas praised the county and city workers in El Paso for providing local and state resources to deal with the surge.
Fox's Gernal Scott. President Biden later travels to Mexico City for a summit with other North American leaders. matters.
The focus of this meeting is not just going to be controlling immigration, but also stemming the flow of fentanyl across the U.S. border. And ahead of the president's visit, Mexican authorities arrested El Chapo's son, Ovidio Guzman, and now the cartels have declared war on the Mexican government. More than 30 people have been killed in shootouts with the military, even attempting to shoot down military and civilian aircraft.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Guzman is being held at a federal prison in Mexico. Northern California getting slammed again with heavy rain, strong winds, and snow in the higher elevations. Tens of thousands of customers were without power in Sacramento. The storm's one of several in a series that will hit the already saturated state, raising concerns for flooding and mudslides. And child actor Adam Rich has died. He was best known for his role in the 1970s hit TV show 8 is Enough. No word on the cause of death. He was 54. America is listening to Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
The ground search has been suspended for a Massachusetts woman who has been missing since New Year's Day. Police say the search for 39-year-old Anna Walsh of Cohasset ended yesterday. K-9 teams and aircraft searched wooded areas near her home, and divers searched a small stream and pool. Walsh, a mother of 3, was last seen a week ago and reported missing Wednesday by her husband. A major city school district has a plan to counter the effects of social media on its students. Fox's Kevin Ureski has details.
The Seattle School District filed a federal lawsuit Friday against the tech companies behind TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat. The suit looks to hold them accountable for a mental health crisis among youth and claims that these social media sites have created a public nuisance by catering to children. Some of the problems the suit blames the companies for is an increase in childhood-aged anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and cyberbullying. Part of the filing reading that, quote, defendants have successfully exploited the vulnerable brains of youth, hooking tens of millions of students across the country into positive feedback loops of excessive use and abuse of defendants' social media platforms. No response yet from Meta, Google, Snap, or TikTok. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has been on social media to thank his fans for their support after his on-field cardiac arrest. Fox's Bob Mortale reports.
Hamlin remains in critical condition, but continues to make progress after collapsing during Monday night's game in Cincinnati. On Instagram, Hamlin wrote, "When you put real love out into the world, it comes back to you 3 times as much." Hamlin added, "The love has been overwhelming. I'm thankful for every person that prayed for me and reached out. If you know me," Hamlin said, "this will only go to make me stronger." Hamlin also urged his fans to keep praying for him. Bob Mortale, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Guam Community College Spring 2023 late registration starts Monday, January 9th through Friday, January 13th. New students can apply at guamcc.edu/apply or in person at GCC. Returning students can register, add, or drop classes using their MyGCC login. Register or apply now, online or on campus at Building 2000 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., January 9th till the 13th. Stop thinking about getting back into the classroom and just do it.
Your crack is showing.
My what?
Look at all those cracks on your phone screen. Dude, you need a new phone.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, then you need to check out GTA's trade-in deal. Trade in your old phone and get up to $800 in credit towards a new phone.
That's enough to get a new iPhone 14.
Please hurry, because I am tired of looking at your crack.
For a limited time, get up to $800 towards your new smartphone with eligible trade-in and unlimited plan. Visit GTA retail stores or GTA.net for details. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, we start with you.
All three stations, all three morning shows. Thanks to all the listeners for Pika's Best, Choice Broadcasting has swept the top three. Best radio stations, The Point, Boss 104, and Star 101. Top three radio personalities, Kyle Mandapat, Ray Gibson, and Daryl Lizava. Put the power of Pika's Best to work for you. If you're an advertiser, call 671-888-7346 for information, rates, and packages. And let us get your message out to Pika's Best listeners with Pika's Best broadcasters. And thanks for listening to Pika's Best.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. 35-year-old Nathan John Ojeda, who was charged with fatally shooting A.J. Mendiola in front of his Agate home, says he's happy that Mendiola died but denies shooting him. The case has caused upset in the community, especially for the victim's family, that law enforcement was forced to put extra safety measures in place to protect Ojeda in prison, along with Ojeda's family, who has been getting threats. He claims Mendiola shot first and hit his leg as Ojeda was driving past his house and returned fire. But a witness told police that Ojeda shot first. Mendiola died less than 2 hours later at Naval Hospital. The motive for the shooting remains a mystery. Ojeda is now facing criminal charges of aggravated murder and murder, to include special allegations of possession or use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. The last time Ojeda was arrested was in 2006 for a stabbing, but that case was dismissed. And a day after being released from DOC, 40-year-old Wilvic Villanueva Dado was accused of breaking into his former home in Chalampago. A property caretaker called GPD on Friday to report the break-in. The house was in the process of being sold, and a real estate agent noticed shutters had been removed. Court documents state that Dado had been notified that he was not allowed to enter the premises. He told police that he walked to the house after he was released and went through the second-floor window to take a shower and get some clothes. Police found a bag of suspected meth in his pocket. He denied owning the drugs, saying that the last time he smoked meth was when he was in prison. He was charged with possession of a Schedule II and criminal trespass. Before Friday's arrest, Dado had pending cases for drugs, burglary, criminal mischief, and violation of a court order. More news after this.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA, or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
AG Doug Moylan has been working with DOC Director Bob Camacho to address the issue of contraband, such as meth, making its way into the prisons. Moylan says they are in the process of trying to implement procedures and different ways that DOC is going to attack how drugs are getting in. In the past, part of DOC's effort to combat drugs was to conduct random drug searches. That has led to a number of cases against inmates, DOC officers, and others in the community. Officials are investigating a former inmate's claim that he had smoked meth while in prison. Moylan says deterring contraband from entering the prison was not a priority his predecessor, Levan Camacho, strongly pursued. Moylan argued that approach resulted in negative impacts on the rehabilitation of drug offenders who were incarcerated. And the 37th Guam legislature has filed the first two bills and a resolution after being sworn in. Bill 2, introduced by Senator Tello Taitagui, is her renewed push to increase COLA payments for GovGuam retirees. The measure is based on the legislature's adoption of recommendations provided by a proposed special cost of living economic service group. The current $2,000 standard COLA will serve as a baseline in recommending supplemental cost of living adjustments. Another bill introduced by Senator Sabina Perez deals with the value added to buildings that install photovoltaic solar panels for purposes of levying real estate taxes. The first resolution was introduced by Speaker Therese Terlahi, recognizing Dr. Kirk Bellis for his 17 years with the Laddie Treatment Center and 35 years of service to improving mental health. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
I'll get around to taking a look at the weather here. Just looking at some stories that I might bring up while we're doing the financial report here. Conversations about what they're referring to now as eggflation. Eggflation. The average price for a dozen large eggs now in the United States of America is $3.59. I have, admittedly, now I haven't been in a grocery store in a little bit, so I have no idea what the going rate for a dozen. Really, Donna says it's $6 for a dozen eggs.
Yeah, I bought a dozen for about $6.
Is it really? Oh my God! All right, sounds incredible. Edible eggs. So there's that conversation, and then there's the conversation about the Bills going back on the field. Are they playing today? Are they playing now? Do we know?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't. As I said, just the last full week of football. This is it. After this, it's all wild cards and playoffs, divisionals, and things like that. So I haven't necessarily had a chance to take a look at what's going on. So I'll get around to. Here's the warning. This is the warning for the guys on the YouTube side that bristle every time I bring up football scores. I'm going to give an update on football scores here in just a little bit, probably after the weather, somewhere between the weather and, let me see, the financial and extra point stuff that we do. Showers likely, possibly a thunderstorm today and tonight and tomorrow night. Storms could produce heavy rainfall, but gee, they said that over the weekend, and yeah, it rained, but it wasn't, super stormy. Cloudy skies today with highs near 84 degrees, northeast winds up to about 11 miles an hour, becoming east-southeast later on in the morning. Mostly cloudy tonight, mostly cloudy tomorrow, mostly cloudy tomorrow night. By Wednesday, though, they say we might be in store for some partly sunny weather. Highs near 86 degrees over the next couple of days. With the heat index, it'll make it feel like it's 90 degrees. Rip current warnings, flood warnings, hazardous surf, Portuguese man of war. Just be careful when you're out in the water. Sunrise this morning was at 6:46, and we've got a couple of contestants here in that GVB contest. We got the pictures from Pirates Cove and a gorgeous sunrise over in that part of the island on the eastern side. And I want to say that I got from Dennis Larson some good-looking photographs of what sunrise looking like on his side of the island. So not bad at all. Could win you $150 from the guys over at GVB. It's visit Guam. Is it com or .org? Do you remember? I'll tell you what, I'll look at the thing on the screen and get it out there. But Dennis Larson also talking about eggs. Love this one here. Dozen farm fresh eggs. We'll trade for a 2015 or newer Jeep. Don't try to lowball me. I know what I got. Language taken from Guam Grabs and all of those websites. It's 7:13 in the Ray Gibson Show. More on the way.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA. Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Burger King says thank you to our drive-thru guests with a very special offer. Every Monday in the month of January, visit our drive-thru locations in Tumon or Hagåtña. Every 10th car will receive a Fire Grill Whopper coupon with your order. This is the King's way of saying Happy New Year to all of our guests. Serving your Fire Grill Whoppers daily from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. BK, Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. You rule.
We do. 7:15, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by the guys over at American Present Lines, a global presence with a local home and Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
Oh, and today, Real Joe, a very special extra point with Jerry Roberts.
Yeah.
Back in the studio.
Oh, he's back on.
Yeah, he come back. He's back on island of Guam.
He flew back in. His arms must be tired.
So be on. Listen for him and the announcement of the extra point coming up before too much longer. Take a look at what happened on the markets. S&P 500 in the green by 86 points. Is that good news? I suppose for them. They're Friday. NASDAQ 10,569. They're up by 264 points. The biggest winner of the American markets over the weekend. But the Dow Jones Industrial Average average over 700 points in the green here, closing at 33,630. It was a good day for most of the rest of the markets as well. FTSE up by 66. The Nikkei in Japan picked up 153 points. Shanghai 2.42. Only loser in the Asian markets looks like the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, closing down, but only by 60 points to 20,991. If you've got some accounts that are linked to those particular markets. Let me see. The DAX is up by 173 points. VIX is down by just a point. So what did I say? The NASDAQ was the big winner. I'll take a look at who carried the NASDAQ into the green over the weekend. It says Costco, Old Dominion, IDEX Labs, Lamb Research, and Applied Materials. Down around the bottom, Enphase, JD.com, Splunk, NetEase, and Electronic Arts led everybody down. Tesla looking a little bit better this morning, though, just for those of you that are keeping track of it, $113. That's up by $2.72 in trade from the last time that we looked at that particular equity. On the commodities, oil, it's $73.77. That's West Texas crude. We look at that number because it helps guide us in terms of what's going on with electricity. As far as gasoline for your car, well, it looks like we've got some decent numbers on Tapas. Over $80 for a barrel of Tapas, $81.13, but that number's actually down from this time last week. So there's good news there. Going to Japan, 132 yen to the U.S. dollar. Philippine peso steady at 55, and the won at $1,253.88. 1253.88 won is where you're going to find the numbers for Korea. Hopefully that's a good enough number that will keep them coming back and forth to Guam all the time. And shoot more television shows here. Did you hear the story that Donna
I heard
wrote?
about it, man. I was kind of bummed out. I didn't know.
Well, I know you didn't wrote it, but you read it is the thing. So they're here and shooting movies. Did that thing over at the beach bar. You know, everything that Mark Baldiga touches has turned to gold. We are shooting movies over at the beach bar, number one. Number two, my WhatsApp and my Instagrams and my Facebook, there's a whole bunch of pictures of people way younger than any of us getting their dance on at the Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
Not Zoe. It's spelled Z-O-H.
Guam's newest, hottest nightclub.
Yes, bring it on. It goes down. It's gone down all the time. And I was supposed to buddy up with some friends on Saturday night, and I got held up in the boondocks, so I didn't make it. But that's okay. They reported, went to Zoe, got really drunk. I just danced and drank all night long, which is what you're supposed to do when you were in a certain age. And now you've got someplace new to hang out and do that. And as the guy says, we talked to Mark Baldiga about this not that long ago, and he was talking about, it's not just for young kids. We've got special VIP areas where you can kind of nestle back into, something really comfortable and cozy and hide in plain sight, as they say.
For auntie and uncle.
Yeah, right. But I don't know if the DJ will play cha-cha. I don't know. I gotta ask the guy who's in charge of the play. Hey, man, can you make the DJ play? Just under the boardwalk one time. That's all. How about the cha-cha slide? Can we do the cha-cha slide, or are we too sophisticated for that? I don't know. 888-8255-888-TALK 718. And the story that I keep returning to, just because I think it's interesting, is what's going on with certain kind of essentials. When I would go shopping for stuff, if Mom would give me a list, and it was always the basics: bread, milk, eggs. Bread, milk, eggs. You remember that? And he said, here's $10. Go to the store and get bread, milk, eggs. That's all we need for right now. And you could do that with $10. You can cover the whole thing. Now $10 won't even buy a half gallon of milk, right? And now eggs. We've already seen the bread go up. I know people in the bread business, and virtually everything that they need in order to make a loaf of bread or a cupcake or an apple turnover, everything, the prices have gone through the roof if you can get it. If you can get the stuff to make. And now they probably expect another increase because the eggs are getting hard to come by. And I don't know if you're much of a baker, but it seems to me that if you're going to bake something, there's probably egg inside. We probably have to crack an egg or two on the inside in order to make the dough and all the different flavors mix and stay together. And the price of eggs have gone through the roof pretty much everywhere. Now, Joe turned me onto this last week when he sent me a picture of an egg thing in Colorado.
Empty. Yeah, mostly.
Empty, mostly empty, and that has to do with a new law that went into effect, where they say that you could only sell free range eggs.
Free range. I'll take the caged.
Right. Yeah.
I want that chicken that can't move at all.
They're chickens. They were put here for our entertainment and to feed us, like cows were put here to feed us. That's the whole idea behind these animals. So, yeah, it's a terrible thing that they've got to do in their short life is spit out a whole bunch of eggs before we make soup out of it. But that's the way it is. We clawed our way up to the top of the food chain so that we can enjoy a couple of eggs with our bacon. There's another animal that's put there for us. I know they're smart, they're cute, but they're there for us to eat. And that's just the way it is, guys. Demographic trends, et cetera, everybody is looking at the price of the eggs all around the place. And like I said, $3.59 for those of you that want to get it. The price of eggs up over 49% in November compared to a year earlier. Prices may finally be coming down as we're past the holiday demand period. Egg prices, on average, $4.63 for a dozen Midwest large eggs. This is just Friday, down from $5.46 in the days before and after Christmas, according to there's, believe it or not, an egg index that you can find. All right, some of the other numbers that we're looking at, and another, this one here, you're just not going to be able to find it. Ronzoni makes a kind of thing, it's called a pastina. But apparently, they're not going to be doing it. The Ronzoni people say they're just not going to be able to support it, so they're discontinuing the pastini line. That says, unfortunately, our long-term supplier informed us that they would no longer be making Ronzoni pastini as of January 2023. We searched extensively for an alternative solution, but were unable to identify a viable option to make pastini in the same beloved small shape, size, and standards you've come to expect from Ronzoni. As a result, we had to make the difficult decision to discontinue this product. So no more pastinis. I don't even know what that is, but now I miss it, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that, Shelley, can we make Parma-Rosa out of the pastinis? is that a thing? 7:23. Now, last week, and the good news coming out of the NFL, scores in a minute. The good news coming out of the National Football League is the guy, Damar Hamlin, is just a miraculous recovery. I think he's off the intubation, able to communicate now with people, and woke up from the coma, and the first thing that he asked is, who won the game? They did not tell him yet, apparently, that the game had been canceled kind of entirely, which, some football fans are questioning, going, we've seen people get hurt on the field before, and then they put him on a stretcher, and they stick him in the back of an NFL-approved ambulance.
Golf cart.
Yeah, and then they go back to the game, and we finish the game. And that's the way it works. Why did they cancel the outcome of the game? And what does that mean as we coming out of the regular season and into the playoffs? It will be one of the most, when the Bills come back. Are they playing now? Bills and the Patriots? They say it's going to be an emotional game. Lots of crying, lots of tears. With this. It'll be a celebration of life. Real Joe, can you imagine? The Bills announced Friday.
Doves free.
Hamlin had been taken off of a breathing tube and was talking to his family and doctors. Hamlin also FaceTimes his teammates, telling them, love you guys. More than 240,000 people have donated over $8 million to their fundraiser for Pittsburgh area toy drive as a way to show him love and support. I think there was a GoFundMe that they set up that was through the roof as well. Sunday, the NFL's regular season finale will provide another opportunity for people to make donations. The game itself carries major AFC playoff implications. It will impact Buffalo's seedings, and the Patriots clinch a wild card spot with a win. Bills will be wearing a special number 3 jersey patches just for Hamlin. Other NFL teams will honor him at stadiums all across the country. Quote, there's going to be tears out here. That will be more of a challenge than the X's and the O's that have been floating around. Are your eyes rolling? Heavy, huh?
Oh, you saw that? Sorry. Man.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right.
All right, so we took a look at all the numbers. 7:24 in the morning. Might be a couple of other interesting stories that are coming out that might affect your pocketbook and how much money you're going to be winning. And if you don't win any money on the NFL today, go to the VFW in Gigo on Friday night, because on Friday Friday night, they will have another drawing for the Queen of Hearts. And understanding that the number now that we're going to start with is $4,000. There will be more in the jackpot as people add to the kitty. 7:25. Jerry Roberts is back. He's the triumphant return to the island of Guam. Buenos and Ave Day, Jerry Roberts. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Didn't get the implants this trip, did you?
No.
Look, we've known each other forever. All of my adult life, I've known Jerry Roberts, and I know better than to ask him when he goes on a trip where he's going. I figure if it was for public consumption, he'd let me know. And in this case,
if the Interpol reports aren't in, then I don't have to talk about it.
There's the Interpol. They called. And was wondering about certain transcripts on the website or something like that. But eventually, those will all get put together, including the 19 or so that you did just before you left.
Yeah,
that was a good job, Herculean. And even though you weren't here, there were still people giving you kudos for great extra points.
Well, thank you to all who did.
Did you come up with any extra point worthy inspirations on your trip? Is there? Yeah. Come on, you were on an airplane. There's always a great opportunity to riff on customer service after having written on an airplane or been in an airport.
There was one. And they let you rate airlines on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And you have to rate between 1 and 5. So I gave this one 0 as far as I could go. And it was one of the worst experiences in the air I've had. And then by the same token, another one was just at the top of the scale.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, as you say. When different airlines and different experiences and how people
Well, I mean, Southwest screwed the pooch over the Christmas and New Year's weekends.
Surprised. That's really not their character.
Right. Right, just weather and then the scheduling, and apparently they've got this outdated system for letting pilots and crews know where they're supposed to be going if they're not flying.
I think the thing I thought about first was Herb Kelleher, and Herb Kelleher was the founder of Southwest Airlines, no longer with us, and he's the guy that wrote the book Nuts. NUTZ, I think it was, about Southwest, about their whole ecosystem, about what they do and how they deal with customers, and the idea that they give you a drink and they give you nuts and you sit where you want to. There was no assigned seating, and people love that airline. I used to use it almost exclusively, and this would never have happened, I think, under Kelleher's watch. But whatever happened, and the combination of factors that took place. Yeah, they lost a whole bunch of built-up goodwill.
I think by way of earning it back, anybody that registered, I think everybody's in the database and they know what happened to all of their customers. I want to say that people whose reservations were botched and never made those flights are getting vouchers for free trips aboard Southwest. Does that go a ways, do you think?
I think so. And I think a lot of people who've flown Southwest, not just for years, for decades, as I have, then I think you're going to be willing to give them a pass because of all that has happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't run away from the problem. They said, "Yeah, we messed it up."
They were very direct on that. I remember seeing statements that, but it didn't help you when you were supposed to try to make it home, planes, trains, and automomes.
Not in the middle of it.
Yeah,
not,
need to be there by New Year's,
and not during the holiday season.
I've got to get to work.
Yeah, the worst time to have something like this happen to them.
He's back. It's time for Extra Point, being brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jerry, what's going on?
I've often heard that performing mundane and repetitive tasks is a great way to help ideas flow. The key is to get involved in something that doesn't require conscious thought. The body takes over and regulates the work, and the mind is free to create. A recent survey indicates there could be even greater benefits than those. We'll dig into this next on the Extra Point.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to FHB.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Years and years ago, I found that performing simple jobs like cleaning had extra value attached to them. Working in the kitchen or the bathroom, sweeping, mopping, folding laundry, and other similar tasks not only get things cleaner and neater, but also help with stress and creativity. Research done at Florida State University has concluded that stress could be significantly reduced if those basic jobs were done mindfully. The study featured 51 students who read one of two passages on dishwashing before they got started. Half of the students read a short mindfulness passage that was focused on being mentally present for the task, being dialed in, and totally aware that they are washing the dishes. The other half of the class read a passage that just described dishwashing, but nothing about being mindful on the job. The people who focused tightly on the details of the dishwashing, as described here, were conscious of every movement they made, of their breathing, the smell of the soap, the temperature of the water, the feel of the dishes, and all the other thoughts were shut out. As a result, their stress levels went down by 27%. Their mindfulness in concentrating on the job slowed their breathing, and they registered a greater sense of well-being. Those who weren't so mindful of the job didn't gain the same benefits from the exercise. Amazon chairman Jeff Bezos believes in the power of washing dishes as it gives his brain a break. To him, it's the same as meditating as he washes dishes as often as he can. As you may know, Bezos' chief rival in the world's richest person competition is Elon Musk of Tesla. They go back and forth on all kinds of things all the time, and Starlink and Twitter and all the things. You know, they're both in the game of going to space and all. Well, while I was unable to find if Musk does dishes on a regular basis, I did scrounge up a video on YouTube that had him washing restaurant dishes in an episode of the TV show Big Bang Theory. Back to Bezos. He and others also see doing basic chores as a way to let your mind wander, and it very often wanders into creative ideas. Now, I can testify that many of my ideas have come from simple cleaning jobs or doing repetitive exercises like walking or stepping. I've had ideas come to me in the shower. The sound of the water hitting my body lulls me into an almost hypnotic state, and thoughts start caromming all over the place. If you are feeling stressed and uncreative, grab the sponge and scrub those dishes. You'll feel that you accomplished something worthwhile when they are clean, and you'll also feel better. You might come away with a good idea or two, along with cleaner and neater stuff. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Always nice to set a stage there for you to be thinking creatively and mindfully about whatever it is that you're doing. But my big frustration is when I'm in the shower or washing dishes, I don't generally have a pad and pen handy to be able to write down these things. And you know the way it is, you get this brilliant idea. I can save the world. I can do something about the price of eggs and milk and bread. But by the time I get to where the pencil and paper is, I've forgotten it.
You have ideas about saving the world while you're in the shower?
The entire time. The entire time I'm in there. It usually starts.
The world is in the palm of your hand, and you have allowed this to happen?
Several times now, and this is the other thing, and it's one of those things I have to admit to myself on a daily basis. Whenever I get into the shower, the first thing that pops into my head is Jerry Roberts standing right across from me, telling me that I need to step into the cold stream every morning.
Okay,
every morning,
the cold
water.
If you don't mind me clarifying something, I have never been anywhere near Ray Gibson when he is in the shower, and I never will.
This is good news, but you did an extra point, and we've done the theme a couple of times where you talk about the endorphin rush and endocrines and all of these good things that happen to you as a result of taking these cold showers.
Absolutely.
But I just cannot do it. But it doesn't make any difference whether I can or can't. Is the idea that every single time I've set foot in the shower in the morning, I'm thinking about Jerry Roberts, and I'm thinking about that, and every day is the conscious decision to wait until it gets hot. That's it. So
you're killing me.
You're in my head. What can I say? 7:34, and welcome back. It's good to have you in the studio, and I'm sure that everybody's glad that you were back in town.
Thank you, sir.
Donna D now with a look at big news and headlines. Again, brought to you by our friends over at Burger King. Rudy Rodolfo and his crew want to say thanks very much. Show their appreciation for you using the drive-thru, so every 10th car is going to get some WAPA love from BK. That's always good news. Also being brought to you by the team over at Hoffa Day Realty. You know what? A lot of people are thinking about getting into the real real estate game and looking at some numbers, these are the guys that can make sense of those numbers. Buying, selling, renting, managing. 588-4232 for the folks over at Hoffaday Realty. You can email them because they're in this century too. HoffadayRealty@gmail.com. Now with big news and headlines. Here's Donna D. Donna, what happened?
There was a baby on board when drunk driver 25-year-old Akidro Setic crashed into a median in Tamuning on Wednesday night. Setic says he took his eyes off the road when he was asked for a pacifier and veered into the median to avoid a car. The woman in Setic's car and the baby she was holding were both sent to the hospital. Setic's blood alcohol level was over the legal limit. He is currently on probation and was ordered not to consume alcohol. Meanwhile, fire department crews rescued 2 kayakers outside of the reef line Saturday afternoon in front of Jimmy D's. Spokesperson Kevin Riley says a third person was able to make it back to shore and none of the kayakers were hurt. Firefighters are urging the community to exercise caution in the water and heed sea and weather warnings from the National Weather Service and Guam Homeland Security. And the annual point-in-time homeless count for Guam will take place on Friday, January 27. Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention Director Robson Augustine says they are collecting donations for 450 giveaway bags. There will also be virtual training for volunteers on Wednesday, January 18 and Friday, January 20. There are about 185 sites that have been assessed to have homeless individuals. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
Seems like they're everywhere these days. 7:36 in the morning, and the story on my MTM village chat was a family apparently living under a set of stairs not too far away from not the Payless, the other grocery store. But what's the name of that one across the
Happy?
No, it's not Happy Mart. Other side.
American Grocery.
American Grocery. I think there might have been some people living in or trying to eke out a living underneath a set of stairs down in that. But I know. Amazing, but true. And had one guy. They had to send an ambulance out for him. He's just kind of laying out there on the deck, not necessarily doing anything. So I think the numbers are going to be increasing of homeless and certainly people that aren't living in any kind of prepared housing. 7:37 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. More on the former governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez on the way. All right, going to be an interesting get-together of the Guam Visitors Bureau. They meet tomorrow, and among many things, are going to be talking about rules and regulations that will help guide the relationship between the board and the management of the Visitors Bureau. I think there could be some unprecedented conversations going on there, among other things. We'll find out what those other things are right quick here on the Ray Gibson Show.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
It's 7:38, Ray Gibson Show. Let's see what we got happening in the roadways here. Put the map up on the screen. This is what it looked like last hour, but let me zoom out and see if I can find other traffic. Oh, boy. Plenty of them right there in the north end of town where they belong. Looks like a little bit tougher to get out of Jigo, north and southbound traffic, getting up to the village. Looking a little bit busy here this morning. Ipao to Waisangsong, fairly busy. Waisangsong running pretty clear right now. So, further southbound, you will run into some traffic over at 1 and 3 and the intersection of 1 and 16. All of the spots, the intersections on Route 16, running fairly busy right now, including the tri-intersection. Then we go to 10 and 15 to bisects a couple of different roadways, Route 10 and the back road to Anderson. And it looks like things are busy on Route 10 as you're making that turn. In what distinction, I sometimes think it is the suckiest traffic light on Guam, that one at 10 and 15. And then I'll get stuck over at the Bank of Guam intersection again, and going, come on, hurry up. Because that light seems to take forever. Maybe it's just me. Route 8, a little bit of dogging out traffic over by the Teedson Gate here, and then we got a little bit of traffic on Route 4 and some of the usual spots getting into the downtown Agutnia area. Nothing major over at Navy Hospital in Guam High. Maybe a little bit of traffic over at the intersection where the cemetery is. Otherwise, expect some delays getting into Big Navy and Sumai. Looks like, traffic is moving. It's just moving slow. 7:39 in the morning. There's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Guam Community College Spring 2023 late registration starts Monday, January 9th through Friday, January 13th. New students can apply at guamcc.edu/apply or in person at GCC. Returning students can register, add, or drop classes using their MyGCC login. Register or apply now, online or on campus at Building 2000 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., January 9th till the 13th. Stop thinking about getting back into the classroom and just do it.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Well, here we are. It's already 2023. Yay for 2023, and we're in it now. It's a time to start seeing if all the predictions seem to be working and running true. We knew early on that the things were going to not look good in the tech sector, and there continues to be bloodletting and a whole bunch of companies that are unleashing. I mean, significant numbers of employees. What did I hear? Like 18,000 employees over at Amazon, mostly in middle and upper management, are going to be jettisoned here in an attempt to kind of reorg the company. We've got a couple of these other big social media giants and just tech giants that are doing the same thing, just looking at the bubble bursting in 2023. So how much is that going to drive all of the rest of the economy, especially the economy not necessarily driven by tech? That's going to be an interesting question, although I think some of the other interesting things, and I'm not getting enough information about it, but the things that I am hearing about over at the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, look like there could be some very promising products and items coming out in this coming year. Maybe even some things that'll change your relationship with your entertainment system in the dashboard. And I don't know whether they're going to be allowing for certain vehicles to have full-blown monitor screens on them so that you could watch this show while you're driving. And I know some of you guys, oh, no, that's dangerous. We can have people watching the television while they're driving. My God, how irresponsible is that? People are already distracted on the roads. If you spend enough time sitting at intersections and just kind of looking at everybody, it's like the Kmart intersection. I'll drive up on that every once in a while and kind of look to the left, look to the right, and it's like as soon as the car gets to like a stop position, the vehicle will stop, and then the hand comes up with the cell phone in it.
Yeah, that's me honking behind you.
Right, I'm the guy.
Lights green, man.
Yeah,
Lights green, man.
Go. See, get out of the way. Put the phone down and drive, for heaven's sakes. That's very, very common that you see out there. And though an interesting story about Kmart over the weekend. It just apparently
a glitch
in the Matrix. Yeah, apparently they had to close their doors. There was a problem with the system, and I don't remember. Donna can tell us later on maybe when exactly that took place. But I remember getting a beep from somebody or a message on social media that said Kmart was cash only.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that sucks.
It happens sometimes.
No, that should never happen. There should it should be one of those things. There ought to be all of the things in place to ever prevent the idea of going cash only in stores like that and like Macy's and places. Here's the deal. In fact, any store. I had the problem at the gas station last week. They were making some upgrades on their system, and I remember going in there and a little girl says, "I'm sorry, it's cash only today." Thank God, I actually had cash on me. Wasn't able to buy as many Mr. Browns and vitamin water as I wanted to, but I had enough to get at least one of the above to get my day started. But the idea that they were cash only kind of set me back because I'm one of those guys that never has money. Never has money. I'm the guy at the family get-togethers. Okay, could everybody just put it on my credit card? Because I don't actually have any cash. Just hand me over the cash that you have. That's the equivalent of me going to the bank is taking over the check for everybody so I can get their cash. 7:45 in the morning. Here's somebody that knows that I never have any money. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez. Hopping Unc, how you doing?
Morning, everybody. Kate, please, doing what?
What happened?
Oh, I just almost lost you.
Oh, I'm right here. Gov. Good to hear. Hugging a kiss to Auntie Jerry. Did you have a good weekend?
Oh my God, no. You know what? I know that it's not the age or anything, but this stuff that's going around is not the COVID, but just the regular kind of a flu that makes you feel funky. So we're just trying to take care of that first. I mean, a lot of people in the family got it too, and the schools.
Well, it's not keeping you from working, is it?
No. As a matter of fact, I'm rushing in. I have a long interview with the Japan Times, and it's not just a perfunctory interview of tourism. They're really going in depth. That has to deal with the entire Micronesia. You know, the vision for our part of the world with 2,000 islands. And so they're looking into this part of the world very, very closely.
It sounds like they might be interested in doing some cheerleading for tourism and to get that population back on the move.
Exactly. I believe that's the way it is. I believe it was supposed to be my interview Friday. They asked if I could switch with the governor, and the governor was interviewed at the Friday. So I'm sure she set the tone well. But this is a very, very interesting interview that I got to rush in there. I thought it was like 10 o'clock, but it's 9. So.
Well, it's not like you need to ask anybody to help you with the answers because I think you're all up to speed on everything that you've got coming up over at the Visitors Bureau. There is going to be a very, very important meeting, though, tomorrow at 11:30 at GVB. The conversation about brown tree snakes, etc., notwithstanding all of that, we need to talk about the forecast for the year and then amendments to GVB's bylaws and the election of directors. Who's running for director now?
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is that we did have a membership meeting last month at the Hilton, and we explained, the new bylaws and how it now is congruent with the enabling legislation that set up GVB. And there were no questions. People seem to be satisfied, which lead us now into this voting tomorrow, acceptance of those bylaws, and then voting for several board members according to the number of eligible votes they have in their membership. But so far, I think it's only 5 that has put in their hat for membership.
Anybody new?
To be voted on.
Anybody new in there?
Well, I'm not sure if they're new. I think they've been running in the past.
Are you aware of anybody that is giving up a position? Is there anybody on the current board that's saying, okay, they changed the rules, it won't be as much fun as it used to be?
I don't see any of those names.
Okay. Well, it will certainly be interesting. When will we have the results of the election?
Right. I think we just got Ernst & Young to decide, to agree to do the certification. Okay. So it should be around maybe by 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right. I think that's a cause for some kind of a press release. Seems to be so much going on in the hospitality industry, the visitor industry. And I was talking earlier about a great new opening of a club down in Tumon. Used to be the Onyx, then it was the Globe, and now it is Zoe. Mark Baldiga has finally got everything together in the main building and was able to reopen that night spot. And I'll tell you what, based on what I'm seeing, it's already a success. They already have achieved the level of a good crowd and success, hoping that it will give other tourists, the FITs and the young ladies and office guys that come out of Korea, something to do at night.
Well, you got to applaud Mark Baldiga. He seems to be the only one that I've noticed that has put his money where his mouth is and has always been the vanguard in moving new activities forward to keep our island interesting, for the people to come here and do stuff. And right. I tried to help him out since 2019 in January when I first worked for the governor, and we got some red tape, removed for him to move forward with what he needed to do, and it's getting down to that point that I think he's going to be really one major factor in keeping our Pleasure Island interesting out there, and we're working very closely with him. As a matter of fact, he messaged me last night, and I messaged him back that we're doing something also not just Korea or Japan or Taiwan, Philippines, but we're reaching back into. I remember, Ray, when you were talking about this about 6-7 months ago about doing a homecoming, and we actually took what exactly you said about homecoming, and we're tying it into the North America, not only for the Chamorro people or the Filipino people that have connections to Guam.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 40,000 in the mix there, but also military families. So we're really working now with the airlines and the hotels in those countries that surround us. That airlines make a stop and then come to Guam, or they can connect to Guam, like Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines. They can fly there and stay 3 days. Come to Guam, and on the way back, stay another 3 days.
Yep.
That's the cabotage ruling. But we're working with that to keep the cost down, keep the hotel rates down. I've gotten 2 hotels in the Philippines already agreeing at $60 with two breakfasts and no taxes. So those are working well. Now we're working with Japan outside Narita to see who again will open up their hotels for a really good 3-night stay.
Is this going to be year round, or are you guys targeting a specific time? I read something about a spring break. I think we're going to be already busy around Liberation time, but maybe an opportunity to find another place in the visitor calendar to be able to have a big promotion.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to have been arriving back this morning from San Diego to sign the agreement with the Chamorro House to be the main people to put all these things together. Now we're going to do that after I get back from Taiwan. We're going to go there, sign the agreement. They will represent us, and the faster they can do it, we can. And then that's what I was going to tell Baldiga, that we might be able to wrap something in for the March opening of this area. But generally, it's made for homecoming for the 79th anniversary of Liberation Day. That's going to be a really, really big one because it's going to be about 2.5 months or 2 months of marketing.
Sounds like a good. So speaking of Liberation festivities, is there going to be some kind of a get together between the Mayor's Council and the Visitors Bureau and the Governor's Office to make this a big one? Obviously, the 80th is going to be big, but we've got a whole lot of pent up desire to party and have a good time on Liberation. So who's going to be the leader of that?
Well, as always, the leader is always the Mayor's Council of Guam. So this time, we already told Nadine to go ahead and tell them that we would assign one person over to their organization because I think they want to run it themselves this time. And so we're going to let them do it, but we're going to give them some help. We'll assign some people there.
All right. Well, notwithstanding any conversations about gambling, I mean, it seems to me that the carnivals is one of those things that's kind of left out over there. If there's not going to be any gambling in it, there doesn't seem to be any interest in putting something like that together. But if we're going to be talking about a big homecoming, something that has got a little bit more of a spectacular and thrilling feeling to it, maybe there's nothing wrong with having a little place where we might be able to exchange a couple of bucks for a couple of cards.
I never see anything wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. But this is now the call of the mayor. They're the ones that have perennially taken over this project. And we will assist in some way, maybe not as big as we did last time. I mean, we really used a lot of our resources to be able to make that thing happen. And but the governor is going to be the one that's going to have to pull this together and see how big she wants it. And how much money we have, because that's always boils down to that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's still public health emergency money floating around. We'll keep an eye on the inventory of cash in the government of Guam. Chamber of Commerce going to be getting together in a couple of days here, at Thursday in particular, for their big monthly. And one of the things that they're going to be talking about is the 2023 Guam Economic Outlook. Obviously, a lot of that is driven by what you guys are doing over at the Visitors Bureau. Have you made any contributions to that particular meeting of the Visitors Bureau?
Not the Chamber of Commerce, but we would love to work with the Chamber of Commerce if they, want to come in and work with us, or we'll work with anybody that wants to work with us. There's no problem with that. It's just that sometimes these people want to start criticizing what's going on now and then ask us to come and help.
She writes, as Guam looks ahead toward visitor arrivals, consumer spending, federal and military direct investment, private inward investment, and the ever-present geopolitical tensions beyond our borders, what do the experts say are key economic issues that will influence growth in Guam's private sector? You are one of those experts, and if they don't ask you, let me ask you. What do you think about the key economic issues and how they're going to influence growth in the private sector here?
Well, first of all, I believe that at the advent of the opening up of Camp Blas, number one, and the actual basing of military, 3,000 military personnel and their families here, plus the rotation of 2,000, I think that's what's going to kick off the foot traffic. Seeing is believing. And that's what's going to really spur up right now. A lot of people are bullish on this, and they're buying up property around this Camp Blas area. And so that's going to be the key there, is that you have a constant contribution to the economy that's not going to change immediately, like a COVID, transaction that's going on here now, on again, off again.
Right.
The military is the mainstay, and that's what we're going to have to go around and actually sell Guam as a destination that doesn't end at Guam, but it ends maybe all the way down to Australia, to New Guinea, to Palau, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, and all of Micronesia. This is what I think the Japan Times are kind of interested in, because they heard me say that, and I want to pursue that. And we're going to be going to Malaysia next month because that's where Air Asia Philippines is based out of. And they are visa-free. Brunei is visa-free. And so we want to be able to make that the jumping point and have everybody jump on from Singapore, who has open skies with Palau. New Guinea has an open skies with Palau. We're going to try all of that in and make it sustainable. So this is really the sustainability of Guam as it was in the past. It's include everybody else moving in to Guam, whether they stay here or not, or they stay a few days only. It makes sense, because those flights are going to continue to come. And then it also bodes well for the cargo industry, for things that we can bring in from that part of the world in vegetables and fish and the likes, because we used to do that. Coming in from the States, it just makes it very, very difficult and very expensive.
We'll leave that to Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan. He's already got the resolution paperwork put together for a resolution from the legislature back to the states on maybe finding a way to carve us out of the Jones Act.
Yes, and we've been working together and I'm looking forward to working with Jesse. Believe me, his work in the past, he got thrown out because of his bullishness to stand up. How dare he stand up with their lives? But he is there, and I think that's another factor that I think we're going to move forward well in tourism.
757, and I'm not going to give you a hard time, but you didn't call the speaker. We were talking last week over at the China cabinet, and Uncle Carl says, Ramon, I know how you feel about this, but Joe S. is going to be the speaker of the legislature. Interesting political wrangling that went on in the last few days, was it not?
Yeah, well, what I told you, he had it. He didn't want it, I guess, in the end.
Maybe that's the case. All right, real quick question for you. I got this from a listener, and I believe that you know everything. And so the question from a listener last week was, when are they going to open up the Inarahan pools? It looks like the construction, everything's been done on all of that. The place needs to get open for the residents and visitors and military, et cetera. When's that going to happen?
Well, you know what? I'm going to follow up. The last time I talked with Mayor Tony is I know that this is just doesn't happen and it ends with the Gov Guam. This has Army Corps of Engineers and all these kind of people that can put a stop on it. But I'll find out today, then I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, because people ask me. I was sitting down at a restaurant last week, and a guy comes up to me and asks me the same question, and the reason was because he wants to be able to take family out there when they visit Guam. 7:58 and change. Uncle Carl, always a pleasure talking with you. Sorry that you're a little bit under the weather. Hopefully it'll clear up soon.
All right, thanks, Lucky.
All right, hug and a kiss to Auntie Jerry, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, the czar, if you will, of the whole hospitality industry. Everything on his shoulders and Jerry Perez's shoulders, and that is going to drive everything else that they're going to have a conversation about at the chamber meeting. Again, that's going to be taking place, says 9 to 11, Sumnak Ballroom, to hear from our speakers and their insight on what we can look forward to in the year ahead. I'm just not actively not touching anything important right now because I don't want to jinx 2023. I think I just want to make it through as gingerly as possible through most of the month of January and then let everything kind of start. Speaking of Januaries, is this a dry January for anybody? I know some of you just never drink at all, but no, there's still time. It's not even the 10th yet, but there's still a lot of people that I'm hearing from that have given up drinking for January, right? And you go, wow, what's that like? Do me a favor. Let me know what that's like. 888-8255. Right now, time for Fox News on the Point.
All eyes on the border. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. President Biden making his first visit to the southern border during his presidency, visiting the port of entry in El Paso. Texas Governor Greg Abbott handed the president a letter telling him he's $20 billion too little and 2 years too late. The White House insists the situation is improving. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
The number of people attempting to cross the border unlawfully in El Paso is now down by over 70%, and that has been since mid-December.
New Customs and Border Patrol numbers show the number of migrants continues to rise.
Let's go specifically just to the El Paso sector, which is the busiest in the nation right now. They've got nearly 170,000 encounters. In that sector alone, it's up 222% this fiscal year. More than 78,000 known gotaways, meaning Border Patrol Customs officials saw them but did not bring them into custody.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in Eagle Pass, Texas. Supporters of former Brazilian President Bolsonaro have stormed the country's National Congress building and presidential palace, refusing to accept his defeat. The unrest comes just a week after the inauguration of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who protesters say stole the election. Russia's defense ministry is claiming it killed more than 600 Ukrainian troops in a rocket strike, but Ukraine denies the claim.
Now, there is no evidence that this has taken place, but if it were true, it would be the deadliest day here in Ukraine since the start of the invasion 11 months ago. Meanwhile, as the war continues, Russia has moved more soldiers and equipment to Belarus within the last week. Belarus's defense ministry announced today that the countries will hold joint aviation drills next week.
And child actor Adam Rich, who starred in the 1970s TV show 8 is Enough, has died. He was 54. America is listening to Fox News.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Your crack is showing.
My what?
Look at all those cracks on your phone screen. Dude, you need a new phone.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, then you need to check out GTA's trade-in deal. Trade in your old phone and get up to $800 in credit towards a new phone.
That's enough to get a new iPhone 14.
Please hurry, because I am tired of looking at your crack.
For a limited time, get up to $800 towards your new smartphone with eligible trade-in and unlimited plan. Visit GTA retail stores or GTA.net for details. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, we start with you.
Disgraced cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried is being prosecuted, and now courts in 2 countries are agreeing on how to oversee the bankruptcy of his firm.
Both U.S. and Bahamian officials agree to work with one another in handling the assets of disbanded cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which is now the focus of an investigation of fraud to the tune of billions of dollars. And its founder and chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, is in federal custody and will be prosecuted. Bankman-Fried had been living in the Bahamas, and either he or the company owns vast amounts of real estate. Both nations will work to not only hold on to the properties and company records, but to oversee any liquidations. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Iran this weekend confirmed that 2 men were executed for killing a paramilitary volunteer during ongoing demonstrations. They're the latest executions since protests broke out over the death of a young woman who was arrested by the country's morality police. Fox's Ryan Chilcote reports from London.
With the execution of those 2 men, Iran has now put a total of 4 men to death since these protests began 4 months ago, all of them for alleged crimes associated with the protests themselves. Some very heavily edited footage was shown on Iranian state TV showing the 2 men, a 22-year-old karate champion and a 39-year-old man, quote unquote, confessing to the killing of a man in a demonstration who was helping the government, a volunteer helping the government quash the protests. Critics say their confessions were coerced, the men's lawyers government appointed, and the trial fast track behind closed doors without their family members present.
Activists say at least 16 people have been sentenced to death on charges linked to the protests. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Guam Community College Spring 2023 late registration starts Monday, January 9th through Friday, January 13th. New students can apply at guamcc.edu/apply or in person at GCC. Returning students can register, add, or drop classes using their MyGCC login. Register or apply now, online or on campus at Building 2000 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., January 9th till the 13th. Stop thinking about getting back into the classroom and just do it.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A level 1 sex offender spending life in prison for raping a 9-year-old girl was denied his request to have his sentence reduced. 55-year-old Carmelo Anthony Mendiola asked a Superior Court judge for leniency, requesting that he only serve 15 years for his crime. It comes after justices in the Supreme Court upheld his 2012 rape conviction that he appealed. The government opposed his request for less jail time, noting that he had also been convicted of sexually abusing 2 little girls in 1999. Mendiola's life sentence stands with the possibility of parole. Meanwhile, Zachary Troy Aquino Cruz, one of 2 men charged in connection to the sexual assault of an inmate at DOC last year, pleaded no contest to the charges. Court documents state that an inmate reported he was sexually assaulted last February. Cruz and other inmates held the victim down and forced him to perform sexual acts, threatening sexual violence when he refused. Cruz pleaded no contest to the charge of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct as a 3rd-degree felony and was given a suspended sentence of 1 year and placed on probation for 3 years. Cruz's co-actor was discovered to be Ruben Rivera, who faces the same charges. Since being charged on Tuesday, Rivera appeared in court via Zoom from DOC. His case stalled as he waited for a court-appointed attorney. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Port Authority has reported the presence of an oil spill at Apra Harbor in PD to the U.S. Coast Guard. General Manager Rory Respicio says the area affected is near the dive sites of sunken vessels. The oil spill is estimated to be 100 gallons and came from a reservoir near the port's F1 pier, which is managed by TriStar Terminals. Respicio adds that a Guam EPA investigator was on the scene and that the leak at the F1 pier had been contained. Unitech and TriStar had commenced cleanup of the affected harbor and shore areas as of yesterday afternoon. And the National Weather Service has advised residents to continue to take precautions as heavy rain and flash floods are expected to go on through tonight and possibly tomorrow. Warning coordination meteorologist Landon Eidlet says the department is watching a pairing of two different systems pushing through the Mariana Islands this week. He adds that the tropical disturbance is a very weak system that is slowly pushing southward across the island chain. Eidlet says the showers will be spotty and that forecasters don't foresee widespread rain events, but adds that there is potential for heavy rainfall and flash flooding. A high surf advisory and a high risk of rip currents will be in effect through tomorrow morning for all of the Marianas. And those are your top stories. Now back to Ray with other weather stuff.
Well, I might weather. I might weather. I might not weather. I got the congressman on the other line.
Oh,
here,
no,
so
the congressman.
Yeah, the new one.
Oh, the new one.
The new and improved
From
congressman.
Washington, D.C., long distance?
Jim Moylan. Congressman Jimmy Craig on the line. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Doing great. Half a day, Ray. Half a day, everybody.
Half a day. Okay, so we start off with the standard questionnaire. What's the weather like in D.C. right now?
It's very cold, and it's kind of getting colder, and some of my friends over here are telling me I just don't have the right clothes because it's supposed to be snowing later on in the month and into February.
Right.
So I'm adjusting, though. I'm adjusting. I just today I was watching my when smoke comes out of your mouth as you're talking, it's like, wow, it seems like I'm vaping, but I'm not.
Well, it's one of those things I suppose you're going to have to get used to. That and the trips that you still have to make to come and visit your constituents here on Guam every once in a while. Have they talked to you about? Did Mike give you any advice on how to deal with the ass-numbing flights that you're going to be on between now and the next election?
That's an adjustment for several of the Congress folks as well. I think for myself, I'm just going to have to do some good stretching, find some yoga classes before I get on that plane. So I'm well stretched out and hopefully get some rest.
Just drink a lot. That's how I do it. 8:11 in the morning. Congressman Jim Moylan on the line here from Washington, D.C. Facebook, you've been posting a number of pictures on Facebook. It looks like you got to spend some time with some Chamorro boys in somebody's house. Who is that?
Well, it was a clubhouse, but that's the Guam Society of America. And when we on the first day in on Monday, when we were supposed to get sworn in, also, but didn't happen till Friday. But I was happy that we were able to coordinate with them through Madeline Berdallo, former congresswoman, was able to get us in contact. So their group came on over, and maybe about 20 of them. To my office, and I administered their oath for their new officers. So it's really good, and I just had another meeting with the Guam Society of America there as well, and they gave me their annual planning and how we can work together on different events and the Liberation Day and different things that are coming up. So they're a great asset to work with. They've been established in like 70 years, and they really want to work closely since they were established by Congress over 70 years ago, and so they take it pretty seriously. And how their organization is run, and what I probably should do is try to get these guys to give you a call too to explain more what they hope to do with their congressional delegate and how that would help the island of Guam, and there can be a good rallying service for me working with my other Congress colleagues too on getting the territories included in different bills. So I look at them as a really good source, and I'm happy to be working closely with them.
Well, you know what? Us out here in the cheap seats and back home on Guam, looking at things happening finally over at the legislature, we were finally able to resolve the leadership issues. Your friend Therese Terlai maintains the speakership over at the legislature, and I think that there is a new day, a new era for the 37th Guam legislature could be afoot here these days. And delighted to see that some of the conversations that you and I have had over the the last couple of terms at the legislature may have fresh eyes and fresh legs on them. I've got a couple of measures that have been proposed by Senator Jesse Lujan to temporarily suspend the business privilege tax on food and medicine, as well as an opportunity to restore the business privilege tax to 4% as it was back in 2019. So fingers crossed that, like I said, new legs, new eyes, and new energy might be able to take some of the measures that you had originally proposed in those two terms at the legislature and maybe finally get some success there.
Yes. We were watching that closely as well, so happy for that. And interesting, the Republicans, we just made it by gaining control of Congress here. And finally, we had that battle getting our speaker elected. It went for until the wee hours of the morning. It was after midnight. It was more like 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
So have you been sworn in yet? Did they swear you in with the rest of the guys?
Right. That's what took so long. All right. Finally getting that speaker was Kevin McCarthy elected. And then he goes up there and makes his speech. But it was way after midnight. I think more like 1 o'clock in the morning. And eventually through the processes, we came to the swearing in process. And we're all of us, over 430 some, we're all sworn in that night. So I'm officially
You are now
employed
officially.
Before that, yeah.
Congressman James Craig Moylan, congratulations to you. Now, tell me about this McCarthy guy. A buddy of mine sent me a couple of things about him in the last few days, and I'm going, wait, hold on a second. I'm not so crazy about this. Is it true that McCarthy has supported vax mandates for the military and unfettered access to American taxpayer dollars for Ukraine?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of issues that we can disagree with him, but my experience with him has been pretty positive. And now with a new group of 74 freshmen, this is something that I'm sure we'll be looking at the priorities with the Republican majority. Basically, Kevin laid out his new priorities of course, the deficit, reducing government wasteful spending.
Mm-hmm.
In addition
can we close the southern border?
Securing our borders.
Yeah. I think that's an important one. Never mind the Ukrainian borders. Let's secure our own borders. And after, 2.5 years, Biden has finally gone down to the border? And did Kamala Harris get chewed out for not doing anything materially effective at the southern border? Did they chew her out publicly?
It wasn't. Well, overall, that's what the point was made. That's correct on the floor. Different discussions were pointed in that direction under the Democrat control. But with these bills that the majority are pushing and where we're going to go, we're looking at co-sponsoring them as well, and making sure that the ones that are important to us include that territories are included in these bills before they hit the floor. So we've been working closely with the leadership and so they're comfortable with us, right? And other things, of course, we'll be discussing, and we've already in the works with Puerto Rico and America Samoa and Saipan too, and District of Columbia as well, getting their support on the SSI bill and COFA as well. And we were also looking at the help of Ed Case on that. Had a meeting with him too.
That's a guy in the picture that you sent me last week, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the tall guy. That's Ed Case.
Yeah.
Right, well, yeah. I can get those pictures up on the screen, but I mean, there's you and this tall white guy, and I'm just I didn't have a caption at the bottom of it, so I wasn't sure who this guy was and where he's going to be important to our cause.
Right. Other ones we're working closer is Carter, and he's part of the military side as well as Joe Wilson. So we're getting to know the people, and we're building the trust, and that's I can see it most important. In Congress, you want to keep that friendships really tight and not necessarily get somebody rub them the wrong way.
Right.
Of course, we won't always agree.
What you want to do, and I've got a picture of your front door, and there's a real pretty girl there. I think it's Hannah. Just make sure that Hannah is in a position to greet as many members of Congress that need to come in and visit.
Yeah, which she has, and got into Joe Wilson's office too had a picture with him, and from his window you can see the Capitol Dome, and that's really an experience. But Anna is working great with us. Of course, her experience on Guam and the media, and she's our communications director here in D.C. So I'm glad she's doing that, because it's a matter of making sure that we're getting the word back home to let you all know what we're up to. So we're keeping very busy and trying to keep really warm at the same time.
I'll bet. 8:18 in the morning. Congressman Jim Moylan, I'm glad that you keep a string on the radio station. You're welcome, as usual, to call anytime, not just on a lonely Sunday night.
Right. Yeah. I actually, that's very true. I'm in my room just hanging out, but I got my buddy here, Benson, came out for the inauguration, so I'm going to have dinner with him tonight.
Nice.
That's one good thing.
We
welcome all our visitors.
It take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big thing. Every day should be an opportunity for you with because I know how I would be. I mean, I'd be a kid in a candy store for about the first couple of weeks, and I would be selfieing in front of this monument, in front of that monument. I'd go get rubbings of veterans' names off the Vietnam Memorial Wall. I'd selfie in front of every exhibit over at the Smithsonian. So go ahead and do all of that touristy stuff and take a lot of pictures. Some people will say, "Well, he's not doing the work of the people." I'm like, shut up. If you were the congressman, you'd be doing the same stuff. So lay off. It's 8:19 in the morning. Tell Bobby and Benson I said hello, and we'll be in touch again.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Ray.
All right, Congressman.
It's hard. Yeah, I know, man.
I know. It'll take
He's
a second.
in the bigs.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Eventually, we're going to hear from Odessa, right?
Yeah, she should call any minute now.
Okay, so, the reason for that is because the guys over at the Department of Agriculture have got a deal. They want your Christmas tree. And they want it to be denuded. Denude your Christmas tree. Take off all of the decorations.
Oh, okay.
And then by all means, have a good time with that and take it over there. And I don't. It's free, right? The chipping. You don't have to pay anything. And if you give them your tree, they might give you another tree to replace it with. So no. Well, hold on. This is one of the questions that I want to find out. Okay, ring up. Homeowner. Got a homeowner, and I have a place in the yard that is waiting for me to plant a tree on it. There's at my place, there are two rules when it, one rule really when it, no, they're not really rules. It's kind of a guideline, tradition, is my thing about planting stuff and paying attention to them as they grow is it either has to be unbelievably beautiful. Birds of paradise or gingers. I think those are great looking plants. Or it has to give me something to eat. Now at my house, my something to eat that I just put down, and I'm so thrilled with the way it's growing. I should take pictures. Is I got a guava tree.
Oh, nice.
From Pam.
Bilimbinas? No, that's
it's guava. And so she gave me a bunch. I gave one to the neighbor, and I finally got around to putting another one finally into the ground. And it is doing very, very well. I want to say I think I'm already seeing some flowers topping it, but I don't know for sure. 8:21 in the morning. So what else do they have over at the Department of Agriculture? This is on the line now. Hey, how you doing there, sweetheart?
Hi, happy day, Ray. Yeah, we have a lot going on this morning. Today we start our Christmas tree chipping program.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's a good thing. Is a lot of actual natural Christmas trees came. I did not buy one, but my big sister Shelley bought me a little 2-footer that is now completely dead. I mean, I thought I did a good job killing it during the holiday season, but it's been outside just kind of languishing. And obviously, the smart and sane thing and safe thing to do would be to get it chipped over at the Department of Agriculture for absolutely free, as opposed to burning it in somebody else's backyard with my friends drinking beer.
Yeah, that's what we don't want. As we're ending our rainy season, wildfires are going to start happening really soon, and a good way to start that is by starting to burn your Christmas tree. So don't do that, All our embers that we have, it can travel down like up to 2 miles. And so even though you're trying to be careful, accidents happen, and all our wildfires on island are 100% human caused. So please be careful and just bring your live trees down, or in your case, your dead 2-foot tree. Just take off
but nobody's. But it's enough. 2 foot's enough for me to get another free tree in exchange, right?
Yes, it is. You can come down and we'll definitely pick a native tree or help you pick a native tree that will be right for your property. You know, but it could be from erosion control, or if you want to grow like a tree with a large canopy, we'll find the right one for you.
Okay, what I'm looking for here is a calamansi, but with no thorns. Do we have anything like that there?
I don't think so.
Check somebody. No, because I know they exist. Because I used to have one once upon a time. Somebody actually gave me one, and then I stupidly left it at the house that I used to live in when I sold it. But I tell you what, I've been threatening to go back there, except I'm going to get shot. For trespassing on what used to be my own property. But it was a little small. It was a calamansi bush, if you will, but it didn't have thorns on it. I want to say that it gave me a sweeter, tastier calamansi as opposed to the one with the thorns on it.
Yeah, I'll have to check because I know within our forestry nursery there is a citrus tree, but off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it. So I'm wondering if it's that, or it could be within the other division.
Or the Chamorro tangerine. You know, the one that's good when it's green?
The London.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them, yeah.
So can I get?
Oh, you can come down and check it out.
Okay,
and see
all
what
right.
we have.
Do you have anything else?
Everyone is welcome.
Do you have anything else? I don't want to spend any money on plants this year. So I'm like, do you have one of those champagne bottle palms? Do you have something like that?
No, what we do have is the Ephit and the Galsali and some Panau. So we have a lot of good options there. So that's why it's best that, someone were to come down and check out what we have, talk to our forestry crew and figure out what would be best for your property.
But I'm a senior citizen. Can you come to my house and get it?
You can call, and I'm sure we can find another cousin or uncle that can help us out.
Right. Okay, all right. So there are all kinds of opportunities out there for the chipping thing. It begins today. How long are you guys going to have that at work? How long are you guys going to be doing this program?
All the way until the 18th. So it's from 8:30 to 12:30, and it ends on January 18th, and I believe that's a Wednesday.
Okay, well, just keep us in mind.
mind.
If we don't get a surge or two in the next couple of days, call me, and just keep going on the air until we've got maximum Christmas tree love at the agriculture. Where exactly do I go?
We're on Dairy Road, so it's across the main Department of Agriculture building. It's kind of like diagonal. You'll see a fence there and a pop-up tent, and you'll see trees there probably. We've been getting a lot of interest, so you can come down and check it out, or you can make arrangements for us to,
Oh, now I'm getting you heard my phone ding. That's my friend Rowena says I've got avocados. The problem with an avocado, though, honey, is you put the thing in the ground. Number one, it's what is it, a 5 year before you start?
Maybe, Ray.
Get a while before you. I'm not going to live that long.
I'm waiting. I've been waiting long.
So really, with yours,
yeah, almost 10.
But then they get to be really big trees, and I just chopped down a whole bunch of really big trees, mostly because they scared the hell out of my neighbors. They're going, "It's going to fall on our house. Could you cut those things down?" And I did. But there are a few other things that are going on. Before too much longer, we got the wet and rainy season right now, and I'm worried that there are a ton of ungulates up in the mountains that are making a wreck of things and making it so that some of that red dirt now is going to wash down into the basins and the coves that we've got going on. Are we going to be doing another round of pig hunting and deer hunting soon?
I believe that there is another event coming up with DAR, but I'll have to check on that and get back to you. We are done with our planting season, so we're just preparing right now for our fire season.
Okay.
So So instead of burning your Christmas trees, I'm hoping everyone will come down and drop off their trees and help select a native tree that will fit their area. Because I don't know if you're aware, a tree if you cut down a tree, that takes away the chance of water being absorbed, from erosion or flooding and stuff. So if you take away one tree, you lose, the gallons of water that one tree absorbs. You lose that, so it just goes down.
Yeah, but my neighbors don't get mad. Are you mad? Are you scolding me for cutting my trees down? I mean, they were massive. These huge pogo trees in the back, and literally these things went up, 25, 30 feet. It cost me a pretty penny to get them taken care of.
Yeah.
And I agree. I missed the shade on that side of the house, but like I said, I always worried that if the wind was going to start blowing hard again around here, that it would land either on my place or at the neighbor's house. So I figured, I don't need that kind of karma and I had my buddy Uggan come by and chainsaw everything. But I'll plant some other trees there to replace those for sure. 8:28 in the morning. Odessa, how do we get a hold of you?
Oh, you can reach me down here. Instagram is probably the fastest way for me. It's at doag.forestry. And then also our phone number is 300-7977.
Easy to remember. Easy to remember that stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it's always great talking with you. It's been a while since you and I have been together in the studio. So maybe down the road we ought to find an excuse to have you and some and some other tree planters, et cetera, come in.
Yes. I hope to see you actually this Saturday. We're having our department Ag Loves Guam event, and there'll be tree cutting and pruning demonstrations there so that we can show the community how to properly cut the branches down and, within our area, because, we love our trees and we want to keep everyone safe, and falling branches are very dangerous. So if we're aware of those branches that can be hazardous, we want to take it down, but we don't want to kill the tree. We're trying to save the trees.
Yeah, okay. Send me details on that. We'll see if we can hook up another phone call between now and Friday.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Have a terrific day. Always fun talking with you. It's 8:29 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Donna D has got news and headlines coming up before too much longer. But you know what? It seems to me, I have not done any of the football scores that I said I was going to. They let the Bills win. Isn't that nice?
Yeah?
Do it for DeMar, man. We're
Just
gonna
let
do
him
it.
win.
We're gonna do it for DeMar. Yeah, come in. Tell you what, Will. Every time we're gonna tackle somebody, we just trip. Okay. Oh no, I almost had him. I don't know. I got to watch the game. I got to check out the highlights of the game. Can you hear the music in the background, guys? That means I am going to do football scores for those of you that need to know right now. I know every once in a while everybody says, "No, I want to watch it on ESPN." I want to see it. You know what? I don't get paid by ESPN, so let me give it to everybody that was wondering about what happened with the Chiefs and the Raiders. The Chiefs won that one yesterday, 31-13. I was watching at the end of the Jags-Titan game. These guys were behind almost all the way through, but got lucky, picked up a fumble, and went in for the win. Jaguars 20 over the Titans 16. I got the Browns and Steelers game. Here's the final, 28 for the Steelers. Ravens and the Bengals. It was the Bengals winning that one, 27-16. Vikings over the Bears here, 29-13. And it was the Bills, 35 to the Patriots, 23. Is that just a great day for the Bills, or did the Patriots just become a suck team in the last year or two? Anyway, so we got other games that are getting played today. I got another set of finals for you. Dolphins over the Jets. It's 11-6 there. And the Falcons beat the Buccaneers 30-17. Everybody needs these points here. We're going into the playoffs and the wild cards. Panthers over the Saints 10-7. I got the Texans beating the Colts 32-31. More finals. Do I have any more? Looks like everybody is now. These are the late games, and 49ers ahead of the Cardinals right now, but only by a point. Commanders way over the Cowboys. It's 13-0 in the second quarter there. Seahawks and the Rams are tied 6 apiece, and they got the Eagles with 13. New York Giants, Taza right now. A couple of other games that are underway include the Chargers and the Broncos. Chargers ahead in that one. Second quarter, about 2.5 minutes left in that. Later today, we got one of our favorite rivalries here. Lions and the Packers going to be going at it about 11:20 in the morning, and then we start looking at who is going to be showing up in wild cards and a bunch of games that are still to be discussed and to be scheduled down the road. Coming up, we'll take a look at celebrity birthdays. Donna D with the last big look at news and headlines after these.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Yeah, that's how we're doing that now. That noise.
Yeah.
Oh, do I smack the desk? Yeah. I'm a desk smacker guy?
You are, man.
Does it? I mean, can you hear it on a?
Yes, you can.
And we're still Pika's best.
Yeah.
I'll be down. 8:33 Ray Gibson Show. Celebrity birthdays before we go anywhere else. Are you ready, or you want to do it after the newscast? You don't care. Phony Joni Joan Baez is 82 years old.
Who?
She used to be a singer.
It's related to Jesse?
Where have all the flowers gone?
Oh, that one. Okay.
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know if that's her. I could be wrong. I mean, because all the like folky songs from back in the 60s all sound like they're the same singer to me. They're probably overrated, like Bob Dylan. Jimmy, now here's this guy is super talented. Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin is 79 years old.
Wow.
But can you imagine, though? That's his name, Jimmy Page. He's the guy. Super incredible rock guy. Anyway, happy 79th birthday to Jimmy Page. I don't know if he's still making music. Did I hear that they're going to be working with Dolly Parton on 2000? Look, Elton John is still making records. Imagine that. Let me see who else got a birthday. Dave Matthews of the actual Dave Matthews Band is 56, and Duchess Kate Middleton turns 41. Today, and those are the big celebrity birthdays. I'll throw out a couple other ones. Just thinking, Nina Dobrev of Vampire Diaries and a thing called The Perks of Being a Wallflower is 33 years old, and that's it. If you're looking for something to celebrate today, Mocktail Week. It's mocktail. So we were talking earlier about
mocktail. Okay.
The dry Januaries. And I keep wanting to talk about it, and I keep going, okay, something else comes up. But now might be a good time to do that. If you're giving dry January a shot, and you can start anytime. A lot of people are going, but it's already the 9th. It's too late to do dry January. No, it's not. And you might be wondering why people do this. And I think that for a lot of people that drink, it is an opportunity to prove that they're not alcoholics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can quit anytime.
So do non-drinkers do the opposite? Do I have to start drinking every day?
Oh my God, that could be crazy fun. Can you imagine Donna getting loaded?
I can.
You can, right?
I can.
Right.
It's gonna get wild, man.
Yeah, call the She never breaks out of that mold. It's like 3 or 4 shots in, and then all of a sudden, like, who are you? Anyway, many spaces traditionally focused on alcohol, bars and bottle shops, are giving up booze and offering high-quality, non-alcoholic alternatives to help people with their New Year's resolutions. Can you imagine that? Most of the rest of the time, you go to venue, hang out with your buddies, drink some amaretto showers, drink a couple of beers, down some shots, whatever, Jamesons, and then in order to accommodate dry January resolutions, can you imagine if they just stopped serving alcohol and came up with quote mocktails? Because you can get non-alcoholic beer,
like virgin.
That actually tastes good. Yes, virgin mocktails. Okay. So it's all the regular drinks, except we're not putting the thing that makes you drunk on it. And I know what you're going. What's the damn point? Again, it's for people that are concerned that they're alcoholics, being able to say, "I'm not going to drink for the month of January." I actually knew somebody that did a Sober October about 4 months back, and it was one of those where she decided that she was going to do a Sober October. Was at Oktoberfest. I said, when do you start? Tomorrow. I think I'm going to start tomorrow. Yeah. And it was actually October the 1st on Guam that day, and I remember looking at thinking, you know what? We'll call it a Sober October because it's still the 30th in the mainland. Hasn't quite turned a month, so you can do that. Salt Lake City's Curiosity, a zero-proof bar where a mixed drink will run you about $11. It features a huge selection of non-alcoholic wines and beers. There's a counterculture club in Charlotte holding an alcohol-free festival later in the month. Drinks, live music, panels, and yoga to celebrate a healthier lifestyle. Our mission is really to just challenge that mainstream media that alcohol is necessary for a fun, full life. In Minneapolis, a bar called Marigold, a comfortable boutique-like space with no alcohol. Non-alcoholic versions of just about every liquor store staple, including tequila, wine, cocktails, and beers. Can you imagine an alcohol-free tequila?
No, I can't.
My God.
What are they using instead?
I don't know. There's some kind. I don't know how they get
Bile.
I think I would still get sick, Ray.
Right? It's still, just the smell reminds me of vomit. Trail Magic Tap Room is Minnesota's first THC tap room.
Now we're talking.
That's right. Catering to people who want to skip the alcohol but still desire a buzz, as more and more states are moving to legalize marijuana. Comes after the state greenlit edibles last year, offers seltzers, kombuchas, and Arnold Palmers that each clock in at under 5 milligrams of THC. Interesting. All right, so that is one way to get through the sober October, the dry Januaries. 8:38 in the morning. Donna D, you already do the news?
I didn't do it yet.
Okay, better do it now before I forget. How about what happened?
28-year-old John Richard Bass III is set to go to trial later this year for stabbing Virginia Rose LaGuardia to death at the Hotel Mayana in Tamuning back in the summer of 2021. Bass appeared in Superior Court on Friday, where his defense told the court that they are still trying to get an expert psychologist ahead of trial. Bass has since pleaded not guilty by reason of mental illness to aggravated murder. Jury selection begins on October 30. And AG Doug Moylan says his office will be ready to take action within the next 30 days on Guam's Public Law 20-134, an abortion ban that was enacted before the national right to an abortion was overturned last June. The ban was passed unanimously by the 20th Guam legislature and signed into law in 1990, but was permanently enjoined in federal court for violating the Constitution. Moylan says a motion for the court to lift the injunction will most likely be filed. And Kmart shoppers were taken by surprise on Friday night to find the store closed. An employee arrived for their shift early Saturday morning and explained that the store was closed to the public because of a system issue. Rumors spread that the closure was indefinite, but the issue was resolved by 10 o'clock Saturday morning. Guam's Kmart is one of the last Kmart stores to remain in operation in the U.S. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Well, thank you very much. 20 away from the top of the hour. 888-825-5888-TALK. Meme Machine is online and got time to do shouts to the guys over on the YouTube side enjoying the stream wherever they happen to be. Big crowd there. About 43 people on right now on the YouTube side. Great to have you. Whenever I see that number up high, I'm going, did I forget to turn something else on? It's just like everybody going, oh, crap. But anyway, so Lupang Guam right there. Who's your Big Daddy 06? Kichitsu in Japan, who is reporting 1 degree Celsius in Atsugi.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. He says, Real Joe, if you're heading to Japan, bring your winter clothes because your doggin will freeze. Dollar will get you 130 yen at the DOD Community Bank. And also the Ravens suck. Okay, gotcha. Keith love that. Is there more? And Lupang Guam says, everybody seems to be ignoring the huge no trespassing sign on the gate at Tangisan. I see tourists park rental cars and walk into the private property. Jess Menglotnia is online. Who else is there? Brennan Fausto, Hafaday, everybody, says Ken Brown, Lupang Guam, Elvis Kanata. Morning, football fans. Aaron Rodgers refused to take the shots. Watch his interview on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's a smart dude. KYM, that's Kim, asking what's going on, Guam. Good question. Donna did the headlines. This is as far as we're going to get into the subject. And Kichizu in Japan saying, go see Hawks. Okay. Is there anything else that we got to talk about right now? Otherwise, we'll take a quick break and come back with what I think are just awful magistrate reports. So stick around.
Burger King says thank you to our drive-thru guests with a very special offer. Every Monday in the month of January, visit our drive-thru locations in Tumon or Hagåtña. Every 10th car will receive a Fire Grill Whopper coupon with your order. This is the King's way of saying Happy New Year to all of our guests. Serving your Fire Grill Whoppers daily from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. BK, Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. You rule.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
I may start using it all the time. I posted a couple of stories on Facebook just so I can feel like socially relevant. What are you laughing at? You did too. You changed your profile
that's
picture.
why I'm laughing, man.
You changed your profile. Is that a new picture?
No, it's old.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're doing heroic things on your bicycle. on that picture.
Yeah, trying to survive.
Now, wait a second. Is some kind of self-motivation for you? Are you trying to get back into a swing
trying
or
to
something?
call back the sunshine so I can get out there, man.
Yeah.
Missing it.
Oh my God, I can't imagine what it's like out there in the hills.
It's mud.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. It's just
pudding. Champaladu.
You just gotta. Can I pedal through any
No,
of this
you
stuff?
can't.
No. So you try to make your way to the softer parts of the green grass and try to go through that, but it's just as slippery and just as yucky. No, hikers have the same thing. We're all running through the same thing, and it didn't occur to me until yesterday just how dirty my feet were. I was around some dirt on Saturday night. After I was done with my beach responsibilities, I was around some dirt, and I did not take a shower when I got home because it was fairly late. So I just crashed on the couch and woke up, started walking around, and took a look down at my feet, and I thought, my God, I look like hobbit feet, hairy and dirty. What's up with that? But I did finally find a way to get everything cleaned up. Anyway, 8:44 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. 888-825-5888. TALK is the telephone number. There's lots in the table of contents that we can go over, and including another story about some things that are going on over at GCC. We had the opportunity to ask Mary Okada what she was up to with the Ed Board and the guy that's going to be taking over for Francis Santos, who took over for John Fernandez. That process moves forward, as does the work over at Guam Community College. And they've got a whole nother educational season that is starting like right away. And there's an opportunity for you to get yourself registered for colleges and courses at the University of Guam. John De La Rosa is their spokesman. Hey, John, welcome to the program. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
How you been? Haven't seen you in a while.
Good. Busy. It's been a busy holiday season.
Well, it was certainly a busy Thanksgiving through Christmas over at GCC. I take an opportunity to continue to applaud the incredible culinary program that you guys got out there. It was in my mind the best quality meal deal on Guam. You had a plate full of food for $10, and it's not the cheap stuff either. We're talking about high-end Asian cuisine that they were providing out there for just $10. Good for them, and good for GCC.
Yeah, those guys are doing a great job, and so I love the little competitive spirit between the two chefs, the culinary and the pastry stuff.
So, yeah, the pastry, all of the baked goods that were coming out of GCC were just absolutely to die for. I think that should be a monthly event, but that's just me. I don't know where you guys go to get the food. Can I give you money, and can I buy eggs wherever you guys are buying them at?
Sure.
Because otherwise, the price of everything seems to have gone up. So we got spring semester lined up over at GCC. What kind of courses can I get into? And can I ask out loud if there's anybody in the accounting section over there that might be close to graduation? We in my company needs to hire a new accountant.
Yeah, of course. Our accounting has put one of our basic programs. So yes, there will be graduates at the end of May from the accounting program. If you send us in,
I was going to say, I'll take them now. they already, even though they haven't graduated, they already know more about accounting than I do. Yeah. And there are openings all over the island for folks with those kinds of skills, which is why we love and support GCC so much, because that's what they do. They go to the employers and find out what skills they need to close gaps on, and if it's accounting, if it's IT, if it's technology, plumbing and electrical, and working in the car, and maybe working on hair. We got a place for it. We got courses that you can take at GCC.
Yeah, and one of the upsides of COVID was that we actually went out and got a lot more feedback from the employers. So we did adjust our programs to meet the needs that are out there. So you're right, absolutely right on that.
It's as it should be with the community college, and because there are those connections that you guys make. We had these boot camps on steroids, I think was what Mary Okada referred to them, and so many people in a very, very short amount of time being able to get certified by experts in whatever field that they were working in, and then as the certificates were being handed out, oh, by the way, go see that guy with the bus company because he's got openings right now.
Oh my God, yeah. So I'll just tell you, the total number of people that we have passed through those boot camps, the percentage of them that have graduated and gotten jobs is 90%. So, I mean, what better program can you get into over a short period of time that actually puts you into a job? And so we love that program.
It's 8:48 on the program now. Just before we get to the top of the hour, a couple of other thoughts for people. I would not necessarily have a hard time at GCC being a senior citizen on Guam. There are certain perks that the legislature has bestowed on senior citizens, so I would just have to pay for the books and some of the other fees. But there's no tuition for me, right?
That's correct.
That's it, man. I'm gonna get Cisco certified, bro, and I'm gonna do it for free. What's that?
It's one of the benefits we get at our age.
Absolutely. Take advantage. Guys, take advantage of that. But if you're not 55 years or older, you've got a whole kind of financial aid office there, right?
We do. And so actually, our standard registration ended last Friday, but so now we're in the late registration period. Yeah. So what our admissions office has done is work with different programs to see what courses need to be adjusted to take more kids in. So we're just encouraging everybody to come in. If you even if you feel like you missed the standard registration period, please come in this week only, and you can still get into classes. They'll start this week, but you'll get caught up. And so and yes, financial aid. A huge number of our students, probably close to 80% of them, are on some kind of financial aid, and a lot of them are on a total ride.
Oh wow!
Pell Grant.
Always very cool when somebody else can cover the entire nut for you. We've got Guam Community College, and then right down the street we got the University of Guam. And I know that working together over the last decade or so, they've found areas where we've got some common programs that we can do, so that folks in the high school age and maybe looking at the University of Guam down the road can take care of some basics at GCC, and then have those transcripts follow them down the road to the other end of Mingilao, where they might be able to pursue an education over at the University of Guam. Those programs still exist, right?
All of them. So we have an agreement with UOG that any of the core courses that you take at GCC will transfer over. We also have a couple of programs they're called 2+2, so that the program is designed that you would have to take the first 2 years here, and then you would automatically go into the bachelor's program at UOG. So we have a great working relationship with those.
Right,
if you're interested in any of those, engineering, architecture, anything like that, that has, that is very technically specific, those are the 2+2 programs that we offer.
All right. For information on all of this stuff, you can go to the GCC's website, or you can just swing by the campus and see what it's all about. Talk to some of the guidance folks, admissions, registration, and they'll tell you everything that you need to know. Show you the catalog and show you all the cool programs that you can be into as early as this week.
Yes, and please, this is the last week to register. So if you have any interest in doing it, come in. We'll walk you through the process and help you find the path that you want for yourself.
John, always entertaining talking with you. We'll get together again sometime soon. We'll see if there's an opportunity to get some FaceTime with some of the programs, and because I know that between now and say summertime, I think there's probably going to be more than one or two very, very interesting side gigs that you guys are going to be a part of at GCC.
Yeah, we have a bunch of different events that we're going to do on campus now that we open the campus again.
Totally open again,
we'll
yeah.
We'll get in touch with you and let you know ahead of time.
Yeah, I can hardly wait. Any chances I have to work with the culinary department or the beauty shop people, by all means, let me know.
there will always be a chance.
All right, man.
We are.
I'm a big fan. 852. You have a fantastic rest of the day. We'll talk again soon, John.
Thank you, too.
That's that 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number here on the radio station. And as we got just a few minutes between now and the top of the hour, I thought maybe I'd go through, and I might do this at random. I don't know. I printed out a whole bunch of magistrate reports here this morning, and I don't know which one I'm going to do. We already talked about the Dotto
Are there
case.
any love stories in there, Ray?
Love story. No, I don't see one. But can I? This is a kind of a big deal to me. Great neighbors in my neighborhood, and the house kind of next door to me has been under renovation for a while, and I think they're just about done with everything that they needed to do. They pulled out all the old windows. I think they've changed out air conditioning and redid the kitchen and the bathroom. You guys need to lock the doors when you leave. I'm just saying, because I shouldn't be able to walk around the house. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so eventually I think I'm going to get new neighbors. Right? So I've got, in my ideas in my head about who the perfect neighbors would be. Those of you know that I am Pikaroo, so whatever it is that you're thinking about, you're probably right. You're probably, whatever the image is that you have.
You want some Chinese boaters moving in next
Chinese boaters.
There you go.
Okay, so I've got my fingers crossed on. I have no idea. I have no way that I can even influence something like this. But I think they put sufficient amount of work into the property here. So I think they're going to go for kind of a higher end renter, if you know what I mean, or maybe somebody's outright buy the place. Who knows? A lot of investors out there. But anyway, so there's that. But then there's also the dread. That it might be, somebody that moves in there and kind of a mom and dad that are on vacation from the kids all the time, and so they do whatever it is that they want to. And there's going to be a young son. I'm not going to say a teenager. I'm going to say a young son that insists on making his car one of these like boom boxy kind of things and testing out his system at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to get some sleep.
Perfect neighbors.
Exactly. Parties all the damn time. Even louder and noisier than the parties that I have all the time. I'm just going. I hope that I get nice people to move in next door.
Or like 3 families in that one home.
3 families in one house. Everybody parking in a yard, right? Like that house. But my cousin Basno Mallon from the Attorney General's office gave this magistrate report. 9 o'clock, January 5th. It's 9 o'clock at night. Police department notified of a vehicle driving recklessly in a dark street down in Senorita. We got a bunch of minors who called the cops that they were standing in their yards chatting when a blue Mazda sedan drove at a very high rate of speed. According to the report, the vehicle then stopped a short distance away, hang a Louie, and drove back in front of them at a very high rate of speed. The victims told the cops the driver did this like 4 times. One of his passes, they had to jump out of the way to avoid being hit by the vehicle. Viva Senorita! The report states that during one of the passes, the vehicle almost lost control and came to a loud screeching halt, scared the hell out of the victims. They called the cops. They were able to identify the driver because he has caused problems with them in the past. The report indicates the driver was identified as Travis Uggan. Also stated that at one point, the driver yelled to the victims, "I dare you to tell me to slow down. B-word. Come on, N-word." What? No, it's the B word and the N word. This is not a nice neighbor. Minors informed officers the problem started soon after the defendant moved into his residence in Santa Rita. Officers were able to locate Uggan at a residence in Santa Rita, confirmed he was the driver of the blue sedan. They learned the defendant does not have a driver's license. So Travis Uggan picked up 4 counts of reckless conduct. Reckless driving is a petty misdemeanor, and driving without a driver's license. But can you imagine? You and I know people that live in Santa Rita. Nice, quiet streets, nothing going to be happening. And then all of a sudden, some yahoo moves in from someplace else, bringing ruckus with him. And you just go, what's the nice way to handle something like this?
There's none, Ray.
There is none like that. I'm thinking,
he wants to find out.
Bro, speed bump. Hey, that's it. Mess around and find out. I know people in Santa Rita that can handle that kind of thing, and maybe they did you a favor by calling the police this time, Mr. Uggan. But be on the lookout because, there's people, nice people. You can step on them 100 times, but eventually you're going to step on them one last time, one too many times. And then they won't find you, and then it won't matter. So we'll watch. Maybe we'll see what the Attorney General's office does with this case. No, dude, this is the week. This is the week that the Attorney General's office is going to be tested. And there's this story about what's the guy's name? Ojeda, who is the one that's alleged to have shot that Mendiola dude down south. The agate shooting, I think, is what people are referring to it as. Anyway, so he's taken into custody, and that was the weird thing. There was a tweet coming out on Friday where this guy said, "I didn't shoot him, but I'm glad he's dead." Not filled with the spirit of the holidays, I'd say.
No.
Not filled with the blood, the humanity, and good cheer for his fellow man or anything like that. The man charged with fatally shooting Anthony Mendiola allegedly mentioned to police he was happy that he died, but he denied shooting him. Nathan Ojeda, charged in the Superior Court of Guam with aggravated murder in connection to the death. He's been placed at the scene by a witness, but denies that he had anything to do with it. He says, I was just driving by, and all of a sudden I heard gunshots, and bam, I got shot in the leg, and I had to go to the doctors. But I didn't shoot the guy. I'm glad he's dead, but I didn't have anything to do with that. Folks over at the Attorney General's office not necessarily buying that story and taking it absolutely seriously. His court-appointed public defender, Gloria Rudolph, objected to his $250,000 cash bail. And this is one of those things. Like I said, the Attorney General's office is getting tested by any number of attorneys out there that feel that these cash bails are too high and are already punitive to the defense. It's inappropriate for the government to submit that as a controlling factor when considering detention, according to Ojeda's lawyer. In this case, the charges are serious. However, there is a presumption of innocence that applies, so we cannot rely on pretrial determination of guilt as a factor in determining the detention. However, Judge Benjamin Sison said $250,000 is not excessive. It stands, and unless this guy can come up with the money, Ojeda, thankfully, is going to be in jail. It's 8:59 and change. Stand by now. Fox News Live coming up here in just seconds.
He should have paid a visit a long time ago. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. That's the consensus of many critics of President Biden, who spent a few hours in El Paso today. Upon arrival, he was handed a letter from the governor.
Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott's letter described the president's visit as $20 billion too little and 2 years too late. Governor Abbott said the current Texas border crisis is due to the White House's failure to enact border laws. Governor Abbott asked for several things after finishing what he called the president's photo op: tighter enforcement of the Remain in Mexico policy, more prosecuting of illegal entries, designation of drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and in a nod to former President Trump, that President Biden resume construction of a border wall.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The president's next stop is Mexico City for a summit of North American leaders. Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz is speaking out after Alabama Representative Mike Rogers got into a heated argument with him last week over Gaetz's refusal to back Kevin McCarthy for House Speaker.
In a late-night moment of high drama, people can have moments of frustration, but Mike Rogers and I have a 6-year productive working relationship. We're going to work together wonderfully going forward, and I don't think there should be any punishment or reprisal just because he had an animated moment.
Gaetz eventually voted present, allowing McCarthy to finally win election. Thousands of supporters of former Brazilian President Bolsonaro, who refused to accept his election defeat, stormed the country's government buildings today. Security forces appear to be regaining control. Contract negotiations continue between 2 New York City hospitals and the union representing more than 7,000 nurses who are ready to walk out on Monday. Nurses at a third hospital reached a tentative agreement. America is listening to Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Hafide, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
German authorities say they have detained a 32-year-old Iranian man who was planning a deadly chemical attack motivated by Islamic extremism. Officials say the arrest followed a tip from U.S. security officials. They say he planned to obtain the potent toxins cyanide and ricin for the attack. No toxic substances for an attack was found after a search of his home. It's not clear how far advanced the plans for an attack were and whether the man had chosen a specific target. Some bald eagles get a second chance.
A half dozen bald eagles have gotten a new lease on life. Officials from the University of Minnesota have released the regal raptors back into the wild. 11 eagles had been found poisoned near a landfill in the Twin Cities in early December. The big birds were suffering from having consumed a chemical solution by scavenging the carcasses of dead animals that had been euthanized. One of the eagles died of avian flu. After weeks of medical treatment, one of the birds was set free on December 30th. 5 others were sent on their way this past Friday along the St. Croix River near Hastings, Minnesota. Karen McHugh, Fox News.
The federal government has given the okay to a vaccine for a disease found in honeybees.
Thanks to a new vaccine from a biotech company, honeybees will get some help fending off a disease that can be deadly to the insects. The Department of Agriculture approved the vaccine, which will be used to fight American foul brood disease, according to the drug developer. The disease is caused by a type of bacteria that affects the bee's larvae. The vaccine is ingested by worker bees, eventually making its way to the queen. Typically, infected hives are incinerated to stop the spread. The USDA says pollinators like bees are responsible for 1 of every 3 bites of food we take, and their numbers have been declining for years. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Happy holidays, Guam. From now through January 13th, the Guam Visitors Bureau is giving you a chance to win $150 in cash just by sharing your Christmas spirit. Each week, GVB will announce the theme of the week, so take your best photo or video and upload to visitguam.com/Instaguam to enter for a chance to win $150 in cash. Winners will be announced every Friday. Brought to you by GVB, making Guam a better place to celebrate the season of giving.
All 3 stations, all 3 morning shows. Thanks to all the listeners for Pika's Best, Choice Broadcasting has swept the top 3 best radio stations. The Point, Boss 104, and Star 101. Top 3 radio personalities, Kyle Mandapat, Ray Gibson, and Daryl Lizama. Put the power of Pika's Best to work for you. If you're an advertiser, call 671-888-7346 for information, rates, and packages. And let us get your message out to Pika's Best listeners with Pika's Best broadcasters. And thanks for listening to Pika's Best.
Every company needs money to grow and take on the challenges 2023 will bring.
That's why Bank Pacific's commercial loan officers stand ready to help you.
We offer several programs tailored to assist companies to get to the next step or perhaps for a startup,
including working with SBA or GITA. Bank Pacific.
We want to be your partner.
Equal opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Credit conditions apply.
Right. Hey, Ray Gibson Show portions brought to you by the guys over at Wendy's. And what do they got for you over at Wendy's? You know what they always have for me? The Wendy's chili. Can I just, every once in a while, I know we got holiday stuff, and they've got that new sandwich there with the chicken and the mozzarella. But, wow, can I just say how nothing hits quite like Wendy's chili? Especially on cold, windy days like the kind of we've had recently. So go and get yourself a cup of chili when you get the Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich and cheeseburger. They come in 2 different flavors, crispy chicken filet or juicy beef, topped with a slice of Asiago cheese. It's not a saguao cheese. Right? Somebody misheard me and said, are you talking about a wife here? No, it's Asiago cheese, crunchy, gooey fried mozzarella cheese and savory marinara sauce spread in the crown of a new toasted garlic nut bun. And you can upgrade that combo with the garlic top fries, which are seasoned with more garlic herb sauce. Don't miss out. Head on over today. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Well, I don't know about morning talk that matters. You know, I don't know if I can take the pressure here that I put myself under here on a daily basis. You know, because Guam is the most interesting place in the whole wide world, but we don't have access. I don't know how do I want to say this. There are stories out there in the table of contents that I can pursue, and then there's a couple of other things that have got my attention. Among them. And I don't know how much of a developed riff I have about this, but, today, the weekend, I don't know, it feels like, we're turning corners around here on Guam. And everywhere else for 2023. Look, we've got a sworn-in congressman in Washington, D.C., finally now that McCarthy has been selected, for better or worse, as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So that paves the way for Jimmy Craig Moylan to get himself inaugurated, and now is officially the representative from Guam, USA, in now. So I think that's great. We solved our own leadership issues here with Speaker Terlahi. Is she still playing hard to get? Joe?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, she's got. Man. I mean, I'm not asking for anybody to drop what they're doing just to talk to me on the radio, but it would be nice to hear from her to find out, to what degree the changes in the standing rules of the legislature will make her job easier or harder. Committees, we still want to know about who's got what committees all over the place, to what degree now shared committee chairing between the chairman, co-chairs are all going to be Republicans. I think that's going to be interesting, and maybe it will be helpful for measures that are generally proposed by the Republicans to move forward over at the legislature. I don't know who's working today. I think everybody's up in Saipan, right? Is that the sense that we have? Mostly, yeah. I guess they're doing the inauguration up in the NMI. Cousin Troy and Chris Barnett and Eric were seen because they took pictures of it on an airplane ride to the CNMI, where, according to Cousin Troy, the long night is over. A new day is here. Isn't that the best thing about New Year's after an election?
Yep.
Is everybody just kind of floating around? We're all like optimistic that this is it now. We're turning over a new leaf. You remember going from 6th grade to 7th grade, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a teenager here soon. This is it. It's gonna be a new Ray Gibson that's out there. And so I remember my first day at St. Anthony's School. I came in with a Steve Martin arrow through the head gag.
Yeah. Classic,
right?
Love it, man.
Yeah, I mean that was me, and I'm like, okay, this is how
you
I'm
were
going.
Sister's target.
I'm going. Oh boy, it was worse for me because I was related to all the nuns.
Yeah.
Sister Mark was the principal.
We know your mom.
Yeah.
And your dad.
Everybody. Come here, Gibson.
And your sister.
They never called me by my first name. It was like, come here, Gibson. Right now. Even when I was a patrol boy. But anyway, I digress. But so everybody, thinking about this is a new time, and this will be, the honeymoon will last right up until it starts feeling like the same old crap from before has followed us into 2023. So we'll watch obviously and see what's going on. Best of luck to the new administration in the CNMI. As Cousin Troy says, the long night is over. Governor Lulian Guerrero said as much in a speech that I didn't really read, but I think I caught the headline. Something about the dawn of a new era. The dawn of a new era. We are now post-pandemic here on Guam. It is official. Last week, I reached out early to Crystal Paco San Augustine because I'm the only one in media that remembered that the public health emergency would expire on the 6th, right? So I reached out to her the morning, and I said, okay, what's the deal on the public health emergency? Will it expire? Has it expired? Or Will it be extended? And the word that she sent back to me, not quite immediately, but before the end of this program, was that it had expired and was not going to be extended. And I thought, okay, well, that's it. We're done with that. Well, I'm done. I'm so over COVID-19. But I don't want to forget any of that stuff. So I don't know. I feel like, and I know that members in the Government of Guam family were given, pins, and they got these little "thank you very much for being a frontliner. You're a hero. You saved lives." Whatever it is. There was a whole bunch. But I wonder what the rest of us get. I've always said that there should have been a patch or a jacket or a sticker for everybody else. Not in the Government of Guam. Just people that just rank and file. Just people going, oh my God, I can't believe that, number one, it lasted as long as it did. I can't believe that the government got away with as much crap as it did. I mean, in any other time or place, can you imagine them telling businesses that they had to shut down? Can you imagine? Why? Why again do we have to shut down? Well, because those are places where people gather. And they might be spreading COVID-19 in your evil bar or your evil restaurant or your evil church. So we're going to ask you to close down. Until when? What? Nobody knows. We'll tell you when.
When the car score goes down.
When the car score goes down. And the car scores went to zero, practically. And they still didn't open things up as wide as they needed to. And they were still putting people, their sole crime was being on an airplane bound for Guam 14 days. Do you remember in the beginning? 14 days. I've still got video in my gizmo. I've still got video in my phone of the guys that were on the first bus. And I don't even know if you remember that. The guys that were on the very first bus at the Guam International Airport, as they got suckered in, they landed, and nobody told them anything when they left their departures. Nobody told them that when they landed, they were going to have to stand quarantined for 14 days.
Ooh, Hotel California.
Oh, it was bad. 19th floor, all of the...
check in, but you can't
check out. Yeah, and you remember the guy, we had him on the air last week. He was calling in about the houses. The escapee,
Matt
right?
Murphy.
Matt Murphy.
Mad Dog.
Who just split. He split.
I'll never forget him,
Oh
man.
my God! And it was ugly like that in the hotels until, I don't know, it was Judge not Terlai. It was a different judge. I'll remember the name in a minute. But she was the one, Iriarte, who was the one that said, hey, you guys over at Public Health, you're breaking the law. You need to let these people know that they have a right, because we are actually kind of placing them under some kind of arrest. They have a right to see a judge within a reasonable amount of time. And guys over at, I remember the way they handled it over at Public Health. They, in the middle of the night, put these forms, slid these forms underneath the doors of the hotel. Nobody to explain what they were. Nobody give them any guidance on what was supposed to happen next. Here's the form. Either sign it or don't sign it. We don't care. You're still going to be here for 14 days. Lockdown. And I know that there were people that tried to make the best of it. But frankly, that's among the reasons why I didn't bother getting on an airplane, because I dreaded the idea of all of the hassles that we were going to need to go through, plus the idea that I could come back and maybe my paper's not right, maybe the form's not done correctly, maybe the data is unavailable, and decided, screw that. What's that? If emergency is canceled, why do we still have to wear masks at medical facilities? Interesting question. Why do we still need to wear the pointless mask? I don't know to what degree that has been canceled. As much as I also believe that might be at the call now of the medical facilities. Because I went to go pick something up over at AMC last week, and I walked up to the door, and the lady says, "Oh, we can help you inside." And I said, "Do I really need to go inside for this?" And she says, "Yeah. Do you have a mask?" And the answer was no, even during the public health emergency. No, I don't really have a mask on me now. And she goes inside and comes back 30 seconds later with a new mask for me. So I've got a new mask in the truck. Isn't that exciting? But anyway, there's all of those things. Now, I don't quite know how to phrase it. I want to say our long nightmare is over. is how I want to describe that. But usually I use that phrase only when we're done with either a Democratic administration or a Democrat in the White House. Like when Clinton was out, yeah, our long nightmare is over. When Obama was out, our long nightmare is over. When Biden is out, I will say our long nightmare is over. But we had a dawn of a new era. Thank you very much. But 1,025 days is the accounting between then and today. Actually, I need to adjust that, to remove a bunch of days, because I think it was 1,022 days from March 20th, where I pegged the beginning of the pandemic nonsense, to just last week. And the question was asked somewhere, one of the newspapers, here it is, Saturday's newspaper, health emergency ends. Some lawmakers have criticized government procurement, which at times, while under the emergency declaration, had been completed without the normal competitive process. At times? Are you kidding? I think most of the time they did everything sole source, no competitive process. The governor argued that the local emergency needed to continue to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as maintain federal emergency allotments to the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, a.k.a. SNAP, or food stamps. In her address Friday, Leon Guerrero stated that her administration is working with federal partners to ensure measures are in place to continue the emergency allotments. And I don't know. I mean, they could have done this months ago, because Hawaii did it months ago. They lifted to a great degree all of their pandemic protocols, but their SNAP recipients were able to continue to receive the additional allotments. And I remember saying out loud then, hey, Faison, the governor in Hawaii, because he might be able to give you some ideas on how we're going to be able to get through that. Anyway, done is done, but our 1,000-day nightmare now is all done. And I got my fingers crossed that the guys over at the legislature, it hasn't happened yet, will redo Bill number 11. And Bill number 11 would seek to put the legislature as a co-equal branch of government in the front of the car when we have these emergencies. So that all of the stuff that needs to get taken care of early by an administering body like the governor's office can get taken care of. But after a certain amount of time, 60 days, 90 days, you want to keep the public health emergency going, you have to come to us. You have to come to us and sell us on why this needs to be a moving target. And arguably, I think the argument can be made that there were a lot of people that come down with COVID-19 and found themselves in a hospital. There were people that died with COVID-19 here on Guam. I don't know that any of them died from COVID-19. Certainly in lots of cases, they had it when they expired. That's documented. But end of all of this now is, did it need to go on as long as it was? I remember having a conversation with a fella, and he was all, just super gung-ho. No, keep this thing in place. And I said, but the numbers don't justify the number of sick people, number of positive tests that we've got, number of hospitalizations don't justify this. And his response was, no, we need access to the federal money. And I said, well, then we can't call this a public health emergency anymore. If what we're talking about is access to dough, change it, call it something else. But this ain't a public health emergency. 888-825-888-TALK. What's that? What did I just get? Chris Duenas says the exact relative to declaring a state of emergency related to food insecurity caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. This just comes in from Chris Duenas. This is the version of the document that she should have done months ago, with a little bit with a nod. Simple as this. Could have been done 8 months ago. Chris, why don't you just call? I know you're listening, and thank you for the documentation. So we've got a page, 2 pages of whereases, and then we get to the therefore. The Maga Gaga, governor of Guam, blah, 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 blah. Number 1, declaring a state of emergency related to food insecurity caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. A state of emergency due to the food insecurity experienced by our people as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic is hereby declared. This emergency is declared for the limited purpose of administering the SNAP emergency allotments for eligible individuals and families to alleviate food insecurity during the national public health emergency. The emergency declaration shall continue until terminated by a separate executive order until the national public health emergency related to the COVID pandemic terminates. It's supposed to go tomorrow or the day after, but there has been some conversation out of D.C. about extending it for another 90 days. At any rate, and then there's the severability question. And yeah, that is kind of interesting. Which line is Chris on?
Line 2 and Doc Mac line 1.
Doc. Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll get Doc Mac in a couple of minutes, but let me get Chris Duenas, that's Senator Chris Duenas, online. So this new emergency order, the executive order, is dated on Friday. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And
okay.
Good morning, Ray and Real Joe and Donna. Hope you're enjoying your time this morning after your duties are done. You know, this is what we were talking about. You know, and working with federal officials, my eye, this has been available ever since the beginning. There was no need to work the policies in place. We did all the research. Every single state that needed this did it. As far as National Guard was concerned, we did all the research. All of that is capable under Homeland Security. And the truth of that extension and what the troops needed to do there has always been available. I don't believe we're going to see an executive order for that because it's not needed.
Right. But the other thing is, we knew this the last time there was a healthy conversation. We actually had people from the administration at the legislature. We had people from public health at the legislature answering the questions. And the very simple questions are, where's the documentation that says that we can't end this public health emergency yet still be able to provide for folks in the SNAP program? I don't think they ever came forward with it.
They never came forward with it, and they never produced the document, and the only statement was some sort of discussion about a battle rhythm, meaning that they would shift gears based on this emergency ended. And
battle rhythm. Oh my God, yeah, there's that phrase.
But there still was no documentation provided, and as far as I'm concerned, most, if not all, every single dime of that comes from operations through Homeland Security, and is all based on reimbursement. So it's federally funded 100%, like the other emergency funds, but it's the issue of having to make sure you have this food insecurity executive order in place. But everything else is basically operated under the funds that were given to Guam through CARES Act, through Rescue Plan, and the whole nine. But based on the entire emergency being in place, all of those ability to waive procurement and open government law and everything else were intact, as long as the corpus of the entire emergency was under. Now, Bill 11 is under construction. I'm just trying to see if I'm going to do it independent in terms of the the issue of the legislature standalone. Right. And then also I'm working in some stronger rights in terms of for businesses, and to make sure that any potential penalties are restructured in terms of what can happen, and even under individuals, to make sure that these proposed misdemeanors that existed before will basically go into fines. And so I'm trying to make sure that that it's going to be really, really hard to hold a hammer over people's heads, over business.
Remember, they shut down the construction industry. We had a couple of people get sick at the barracks, and they said that's it for the construction industry. And I don't know what hammer they wielded over the administration, but thankfully for everybody involved, they were able to say no. So we'll go ahead and let these guys. We'll take care of the guys that get sick, like we take care of everybody else. But otherwise, everybody goes back to work. But defying regular logic. Oh, if that's a good idea for the construction industry, why isn't it good for everybody else whose businesses have been shuttered as a result of COVID-19? Many of them shuttered permanently and ain't coming back. 926. Go ahead.
Yeah. What was really interesting about that is, I mean, if you just go into the regulations, and we've done some updating of regulations with public health and workforce housing and everything else, there is a standard strong protocol for all and any monitoring of those workforce housing and the like by public health directly. There's a straight out office associated with that. And the interesting thing was, they were the ones that handled it the best. They came back and wrote to public health saying, look, here are all our protocols. We know how to quarantine. We know how to. We've been through this. And I tell you, within a couple of weeks, that was all pulled away, because they proved that they knew what they're doing. I think Black was at the forefront of that one, and they cleaned it all up. They made sure the public health knew they were on it, and they became kind of the poster child for we got this, Guam.
Yeah, well, I wish that had spread around a little bit wider than that. 9:27 in the morning. Is there a population of government of Guam employees that were terminated because they did not take the vaccine?
No, I am thinking, considering that too as well. I'm introducing legislation with regard to that. I think it was mostly under DOE,
Yes.
and I think also the hospital. From what I understand, though, I've got some information from talking to some officials from the hospital that essentially what they did is they rolled with the weekly testing. Most of them did it. I don't think that they ever really dropped the hammer on health professionals who didn't. I wasn't aware of any. I think they kind of just steered away from that, given the fact that they know, their manpower issues and everything else, and it would be untenable. There, I don't know how many. I don't think there were a huge amount, but of the individuals that I believe opted out, they basically just kind of went okay. But of course, we know, the kind of the stars.
We know so many. We know so many people that were forced to take the vaccine, and just did. But we also know people that said, "Absolutely not. I'm not taking a vaccine. You can't force me," and no longer work in the Department of Education.
Yeah, and
now they live somewhere else. I know of at least a couple of one girl, very effective teacher, been doing it for a long time, and real credit to the craft here, is now working the craft in Las Vegas.
Absolutely, and we're looking at it, we're considering it, and particularly if it would mean that individuals, I don't know how many on Guam, if there are any at this time, because I know DOE had about 3 or 4, I believe.
Yeah.
And they may be either pretty much not be there anymore. I think some of them went to the private sector. But in the event that this becomes also another issue for those who want to return, and if this draconian measure stays in place, that may be another impetus for it. But we're looking at that as well.
Okay, can you do me a favor? And while we're doing things, I want the grocery stores to start using paper bags again. I'm serious. Can we let's talk about it. We really should not be asking people for every time they go into a store to either carry things out in both with armloads of stuff, or be almost forced to buy a bag so that they can do that. I think that might not have been well thought out. Plastic bags, fine. I try to reuse as much as possible and eliminate that from my life. But for heaven's sakes, what's wrong with paper bags?
Okay, I'll talk to James this morning. We'll communicate with EPA, because I know that was still kind of iffy when we did the last round. Well, it wasn't a round table. We were still Zooming, so we can actually have people in the legislature now. But that was kind of iffy the last time. Here's a funny note, Ray. I've actually seen, and I think they do it as a courtesy, just they put those little plastic bags where you put your vegetable and stuff in.
Yep.
And so what they'll do is every once in a while, when a person has a handful of stuff, but it's a little bit more than a handful, they'll give them a couple of those bags. So I guess we're back to plastic bags.
Yeah, well, bypassing the whole thing. And you know what? You want paper bags, and won't give it to you at the grocery store. But when I go and I pick up food to go from someplace, they're always in paper bags. So why one place? Why in one place is it bad, and why in another place it's okay?
Well, I'm going to confess too. When I do a little bit of shopping, but it's a little bit more to carry, sometimes I'll buy a couple vegetables just so that becomes my bag.
Let's see if we can reverse some of the last session's nonsense. Surprised that you're here. I thought maybe you'd run up to Saipan for the inauguration.
No, I had a few things to do over the weekend that I couldn't move, and there's a decent delegation up there, so Guam is represented well.
Yeah. Well, Chris is the other Chris is up there now, so yeah. we got two Chris's, a primary and a backup. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm his friend on the rules committee too, so I guess he's representing the Chris's.
Oh, dude, you know what? I can hardly wait. I just and I'm starting to tell people to refer to them as Republicans, because for the first time in a long time, it feels like there's a body of people over at the legislature that are more concerned about what's happening, the cost of government, cost of living, period, and just getting rid of the matopping that we've had in government for so long.
Me too. And anyways, thanks for the time. But yeah, you'll be seeing the next couple of days, just because I'm trying to make sure it's comprehensive, the rollout of our rights and abilities under emergency health powers return.
Okay, but do me a favor. If you run into Senator Lujan, Jesse Anderson, I meant to ask him this question. I've gotten the printouts now of a couple of bills that have already been put into the hopper now. Bill 4-37, which would suspend the business privilege tax on food and medicine, but for only 12 consecutive months. I'd personally like to see this as a permanent tax holiday.
Yeah, I'll get with them on it. I know there was some discussion of working with University of Guam and having this period to basically just kind of see the impacts. Not that it should return anyways, but I think this is kind of like if you think about it, it's almost training wheels for going back to the 4%, because most of us believe that it's not going to have any effect. In fact, it might have a more positive effect, just because people who would normally pay the taxes on those products anyways, their disposable income is limited, and
right. I mean, it's going to come back. They're going to buy something else with it that maybe that we will get the tax on. I'm with you. That you're right. That is. It feels like Econ 101. I can already hear the bristling from among folks in the BBMR, et cetera, going, no, we can't live without that money. We can't live without that money. You know what? The government continues. The CRERs that you have been looking at all show increases in government revenues.
Absolutely, and that's I can just see it. Okay, no more taxes on medicine and my baby stuff. I get to buy eggs.
Yeah, $6. A couple of bucks a piece. Listen, I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon. You have a great day.
Take care, Ray.
That's 888-8255-888 TALK. 9:33 in the morning. Is that my doctor?
That's our doctor.
Our doctor.
Yeah.
All right, that would be Dr. George Macris. Are you any closer to my time zone, or have you moved back to Florida?
I'm back in Florida. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Say that. And I was 18 days on the road, Honolulu for 10, working at my usual or my traditional old UH job, and then I, maybe because of the flight system, I ended up spending New Year's in Costa Rica. So.
No! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
Poor
sure
guy.
there were other places that you would rather be. I mean, if you
I got a bad sunburn on that beach. So what can I say?
Well, I'm delighted. I'm delighted. I got to kiss all the lips I wanted to kiss on New Year's myself, and had a good time with a whole bunch of friends. You know the crew that I like to hang out with, and we took over a particular spot down in Antigua that I don't know will ever be the same after that. 9:34 in the morning, and now here we are. I'm sure you heard the news. The public health emergency, our 1,000+ day nightmare, is over.
Yes, I did, and it's amazing. If you go back to the tapes 1 or 2 years ago, you'll see much of what we were saying and others were saying is now found to be true, whether it be about the disease, the mortality, the morbidity.
Efficacy of the vaccine.
Et cetera. And, so, this is all going to be forgotten, but again, it's probably your job to remind people, because politicians always they count on people's short memories. So anyway, now that the New Year's over and the holiday's over, I wanted to give some opinions, which would be brief, and that is the Guam elections. Just quick retrospect, very happy about, I was somewhat happy about why, for the gubernatorial results. I really wanted to see a split government, but that's just the way it rolls. So now you do have that. You have an interesting legislature that seems to be uniparty, as you constantly like to remind people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the race for the speakership here on Guam was very, very interesting, and highlighted a group of people that broke away from the regular democratic system here. They did not side, and I've referred to the six that supported Joe S. as the Adelup Six. Because it seems to me that those were people that could always be counted on to do what the Democratic Party of Lou asked them to do. Whether the record bears that out, that's the impression that I have, and I think that's the impression that most people also share. But now we've got 6 members of the Republican minority that have been joined by Chris Martinet, Therese Terlai, the Speaker, and Sabine Perez, who seem to be hell-bent on expressing their desire for an independent independent, third party, not a third party, but a co-equal branch of the government of Guam, where in the last 2 terms over at the legislature, it seems like that's all the legislature wanted to do was go along and get along with the administration.
Yes, maybe now they'll have a little bit more effective legislation. I listened in on the malpractice testimony. You know, again, this is just kind of recapping things that I had no time. I was busy and really didn't want to opine about.
Right.
And then, you know, anyway, that would all be good. You'll have some, hopefully, Speaker Talahi will bring up some of the past issues, and maybe you'll have some fresh blood to assess reality.
Right. And there are people whose names I mentioned that seem to have a firm grip on reality, and maybe would prefer to actually solve some of today's problems as opposed to throwing out all of these wokey things and let's get rid of the paper bags along with the plastic bags, and it's all of this feel good nonsense that we don't need, while the people of Guam are having a hard time making ends meet. We are going to be in a good place a little bit because we've got an extension now on the $500 worth of credit for the power bills on Guam, which everybody needs. I don't care whether you're in the middle class or the poor or the rich. That's going to help everybody and free up that money to be spent elsewhere. Number one. Number two, I think there's some good things that are happening with oil right now. We've extended the holiday on the taxes and I think that ought to be permanent as well. Taxes and fees. That go into liquid fuel taxes. So I think those are a couple of ideas, and the legislation that has been proposed by Senator Lujan now to roll back the business privilege tax to 4 and to put a holiday on food and medicine, at least a 12-month holiday on food and medicine. I think those are all ideas in the right direction that will actually help everybody.
Well, speaking of medicine, again, I'd like to see them. My area of expertise or focus is in, obviously I left Guam, but I've always been, I was actually run off Guam, but I've always been interested in what goes on medically, and I'd like to see them revisit the malpractice issue. And there's things I had put in a letter, I may have to send it in, fixes. If you can't protect people from malpractice, you can improve the quality of providers. And anyway, there's a roadmap to that. Looking over in the new year, I look over the professional advertising, and I see that there's an up-tempo and misleading professional disinformation, which is something that I had approached in 2002, 2003, which got me. Anyway, I think that the legislature can get back into the medical game and start the discussion again with, I'm opposed to malpractice without caps, but I do think that if there isn't a reason to make you wake up at night to see your patient, and there is no downside to not giving a damn, that needs to be looked at. They need to revisit that and not, sweep it under the carpet till the end of the next legislative session.
Like they did this time. 20 away from the top of the hour. You never know what'll happen. There might be some people, in fact, might be people interested in the topic right now that have plans to introduce some changes on that. 9:40 in the morning. Doc, always a delight talking with you. And I'm so sad to hear that you were forced to spend your New Year's holiday in Costa Rica.
Right, in 10 days I go to the Philippines. This time I'm going to make my sweep to the Mariana. I'll flash through Guam. I'll let you know if I'm going to spend any significant time there.
I'll round up the usual suspects and we'll alert the authorities.
All right, I'll be in touch. Hey, have a great day, Don.
And I tell you what, not for me. I mean, if you don't make it, if you're here for a couple of hours and you don't reach out to me, I'll understand. But you better give Shelley a call.
I've already been talking to her.
Ah, very good. Okay.
I don't think it's been a few hours.
All right. 9:41 in the morning. Doc Macris going to be making his way through here. Gee, I wonder who else would be interested in that information. I'll see you soon. In 19 minutes, it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning. And as I mentioned, delighted to get some paperwork this morning from Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan. Again, we've got bill number 3-37, which would roll back the business privilege tax to 4%. And you can already feel the butt hurt coming from among people, I'm sure, over the no, you can't do that. $60 million. You're not going to be able to make $60 million on all of that. Yeah, we want to keep it at 5% forever. Trust me, guys, it's Econ 101. If I save money, whether it's taxes or whatever, someplace, and I am not going to keep that money, I'm going to go and find someplace else to spend it. If I don't spend it at the grocery store, there's a very good chance I'll spend it over at the hardware store. Might sell, the little cell phone place like Beyond the Box where they got all these accessories. I will spend the money there, and then you will get that. You'll be able to get the taxes from those dollars. You will not do without that cash. 9:42 in the morning. Senator Lujan on the line with me now. You've also introduced Bill 4-37, which would suspend the BPT on food and medicine. But how come, Lay, it's only 12 months?
Hey, well, first of all, good morning, Ray, and Real Joe and Donna D. Well, Ray, 12 months is, I don't want an outright no from the colleagues in the administration. It gives us an opportunity to be able to get people, acclimated to the situation and make sure that the spending is there and justified. And I told you before, last week when we were on regarding the rollback of the BPT from 5 to 4%, that this was the sister bill to it. So that being said, now we have more people will be able to get have more expendable income. So you roll that back to 4%, and then medicine, and so hopefully that will also help people help in the for people not being able to or wanting to leave Guam, the tax-paying folks that are leaving Guam. So the 12 months retrieve, waiver for food and medicine is basically for that. We evaluate that after 12 months, and if money's still coming in and making sure what the administration is saying in regards to the shortfalls that will be coming in, that in regards to their expendable income, that they're spending even more money in regards to being able to buy other things that are out there.
Exactly. Like I said, Econ 101. Now, here's what the detractors are going to say. I can already hear the chorus coming from the administration and the Democrats, your Democrat colleagues at the legislature, who will say out loud, like it's a fact, the businesses aren't going to roll their prices back. They're going to leave the prices where they are and keep more of that money. That's what's going to happen because they're greedy, for-profit people. How will we respond to that?
Well, put it this way, Ray. Businesses right now are hurting, most especially the restaurants. Those folks are really hurting, and we've talked about this before. The Guam economy is segmented, right? You have the Gov Guam economy that was never hurt by the pandemic. You have the federal government economy that's really never hurt by the pandemic. The construction company was a little sidelined, but in regards to their economy, they really weren't hurt. But in the private sector, most especially in the tourism industry and also in the restaurants and stores and stuff, they were really hurt by this pandemic. So it's not a one-size-fits-all economy that we have here in Guam. It's really segmented out and segregated in that regard. And so the folks that are going to be saying, well, it's really going to hurt, they're not speaking for the sector that's really hurting at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. Then the other part of this is if it does have an impact on the revenues into the government of Guam, then the government of Guam is going to have to do what everybody else is doing right now, and that is belt tightening. Any programs that are out there that we can't justify anymore, we've got to eliminate. Any people that we cannot justify in positions anymore, we're going to have to eliminate it. And I don't understand why every department and agency on Guam needs to have their own public information officer, for heaven's sakes. What is there another job that can be done? Can we save that $70,000 a year? I bristle at the idea that everybody else has to tighten their belts, but you mentioned something like that around certain people in the government, and you'd think that we were advocating pedophilia.
Well, no, you're right, Ray. But again, when you roll back EPT from 5% to 4%, and then you have a waiver of 12 months for food and medicine, the people that save on that amount, they would spend it on other things, other food items and all that. I mean, every time prices of gas go down, we have a little more money. We have 10 or 15 cents more to be able to spend on something else. We're not all of a sudden saying, oh, we're hoarding this because, oh, this is a great savings. And likewise, when gas increases 10, 15, 20 cents, we know that something else in our lives are jeopardized because of that.
And it might be medicine.
Absolutely. It might be medicine.
It might be healthcare, et cetera. There's any number of things where people have made decisions on what they weren't going to buy because of the cost of living and the cost of goods. And if it's going to be for a limited amount of time just to see if it's palatable to the government or whether the government of Guam will survive, my God, without that additional percent, then finally we get to see it. And I'd like for members of the business community to prove once again to these members of the Democratic Alliance here that you would do the right thing by your customers and you will make adjustments to your prices if they're applicable. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that are running with the razor thin margins anymore these days because their costs have gone up. I know of one or two businesses that are courting not bankruptcy but courting, mailing back the license to the Daphne Shimazu. We've got prices that are reflective of what it costs for us to put food on a plate and deliver it to a table. And at some point, the customers are not going to be able to support those prices. So businesses are absolutely tightened up their margins, maybe in a position where they're losing significant amounts of money on a regular basis, just waiting for this emergency to finally settle.
Sure, Ray. You're absolutely right with that, and that's why, Ray, we're tackling this holistically. I'm asking again, all the two bills and the resolution are all sister bills and resolutions in regards to tackling inflation, because this is something that we can do as a community. There are some things that are out of our control, like supply chain, and of course the Jones Act, and that's why Bill 3. Again, to roll back the BPT from 5% to 4%, and then also the sister bill to that is 12-month waiver on food and medicine. 12 months, and then also resolution number 2, which calls for a 24-month waiver in the Jones Act. This is all in the hands of the local government that we can do to help fight inflation and these pricings here in Guam at this point. That's what we can do as a local government, and hopefully that we'll be able to have folks who are thinking of leaving, and if these two bills pass, and the resolution passes as well, that the folks that are thinking of leaving are saying, hey, they're making an honest effort to make sure that pricing here in Guam has gone down, and we'll be able to live again.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, take a look at Hawaii. They're seeing a mass exodus of people in Hawaii for exactly the same reason. There does not appear to be any attempts by the government of Hawaii to make things easier for people, and they are finding that the majority of people that are leaving are, quote, locals that are going to places where they would never ever consider living before, because that dollar that they earn will go further in places where there is not such a incredible and restrictive tax policies as we are developing here. 10 away from the top of the hour. Senator, appreciate your time. Next time we get an opportunity to talk, because I have not yet read the resolution, but I've got my hands on a copy of it, the resolution to the U.S. government to see if they can carve out for a short period of time, the Jones Act for Guam. I'd love to see something else happen with that.
Got it.
Thanks, Ray. As 10 away from the top of the hour, Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan. Okay, so for the record, when I go on vacation, they will share airtime together. I mean, I don't know, do the show together, but like Jesse will do a show, and then Chris can do a show, and then Jesse can do a show, and then Chris can do a show. You think you could handle that, Real Joe?
I could handle anything, Ray.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. Because I don't even know how long.
I'd love to work with both of those senators.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, but they've both been on the radio before. Chris has done the show for me before. Jesse never did the show for me because we were competitors before.
Yeah.
Once upon a time. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with bring the buzz over here. At 9:51, couple other things. I'm looking at the dashboard here. Just want to do some shouts here to listeners that we've got in Bacolod. Did I say that right? It's in the Western Visayas in the Philippines.
Oh man, no, I'm not sure if you said
that
right at all, man.
Bacolod. My friend Renee.
Close enough.
My friend Renee is going to say, okay, this is how it's pronounced, Ray. Sometimes you shouldn't even try. And then we've got, Norway. I got somebody who's attached to the stream out in Norway, Brussels, in Belgium. Where else is this? I got Oxnard, California. Do we know anybody in Oxnard?
No.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Know
Oxnard.
lots of people in Charlotte, North Carolina. Windsor, Ontario. Buffalo in New York. What's the temps in Buffalo this week?
Probably negative 60.
It's I feel bad. Buffalo is like, that's if the weather's going to dump anywhere in the States, it always manages to dump there. Let me just take a quick gander and see who I've ignored on the YouTube side, who's playing around there. Jesse Menglotya online over there says, message retracted, but he says, Buenos Reagan in Washington State. Oh, for Jesse Menglotya, tell my ex-wife I say hello, because she's up there avoiding me all these years. Whatever it is. Good. Okay. Ellen Leon Guerrero watching on the Facebook side saying, you said it right. Ellen says I did say it right. Bacolod.
Well done. Ray.
All right, very good. Don't ask me to say Muntinlupa.
That one's good, too.
Yeah, I hope so. Randy Landis says it's pronounced Bacolod. Okay, got it. Ray Paul Jordan is there. Joseph Madlangbayan is watching the show. Everybody's giving. It's Monday. It's Monday. Why are you giving me all the hard names on Monday? Sherry Uriarte, Jerome McDonald, who says grocery stores there charge 10 cents a bag, which is where we were for a while, right? Wasn't that the thing? It's like if you forgot.
I don't know, that's kind of cheap,
man. But now you're like, if you don't have a bag, you're screwed in a lot of places. And I see that, where I live, there's a mom and pop place not too far away from the house, and I see all these guys, and they'll walk down. I can see them walking down to the store, and I'll go, hey, where's your bag? And they look at me like, oh, Danya, and then turn around and walk back to the house, get their bag so they can walk back and get the. And you know what? Most of them are like they're like old people, like older than me people, right? So, So what are we? How does that help the Manumku? How is that going to help the Manumku and the very, very young? I'm just asking, for Jesus. Anton Uggan, Havalai, Christine K. Finney is there. The amazing and incredible Pam Duval. Since bag ban, I got mine at the produce department. I refuse to buy bags for cat litter disposal.
Ooh, that's major.
Yes. Well, of course. So it really would seem to me, can we do this? Can we just, I will take a look at some of the laws and then go back and, the back channel to the legislature and say, these have got to go. These have got to go. I'm sorry. It's like one of the first things that they're going to be doing in Washington, D.C. is now that the Republicans know who's in charge in the House, they're all going to get together and say, okay, we're going to repeal the part of the law that makes for hiring 86,000 new officers for the IRS. I mean, that's for real. That's going to happen. It'll fail. But they'll at least make the overture in that direction. James Lahan online, Winnie Flores, Rick San Augustine, Nate Horde, Joey Toves. Oh my gosh, Richard Leon is online. Thank you. James Howard is there. Why is James Howard on the Facebook side?
He's weird. That's why.
Huey Janice is watching the program.
Oh wow. Nice.
I know what you're trying to do, Huey. I'm not going to fall for it. Lydia Tenorio, Mercy Wenzel, Naomi Taitano, Buenos Jen Hoffaday to Charles Craw, Keena McCausland, Vince Polino. Keena, did your team win? Katrina Charfers, Christine Santos, and others. Looking for some of my other favorites. Katie Fix Santana is in the program. So is Nabor Onolarom. Thank you very much for checking in this morning. Okay, 9:55. I did not take any breaks yet, right? So let me chew through this and come back and we'll talk more about very modest things.
Your crack is showing.
My what?
Look at all those cracks on your phone screen. Dude, you need a new phone.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, then you need to check out GTA's trade-in deal. Trade in your old phone and get up to $800 in credit towards a new phone.
That's enough to get a new iPhone 14.
Please hurry, because I am tired of looking at your crack.
For a limited time, get up to $800 towards your new smartphone with eligible trade-in and unlimited plan. Visit GTA retail stores or GTA.net for details. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, we start with you.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Have a day and a happy new year from KFC. And me, I'm Colonel Sanders. And to kick off the new year, I'm bringing back one of my best deals, the $25 fill-up bucket. That's 10 pieces of original recipe drumsticks and thighs with 2 large sides of red rice for only $25. It's the highest caliber meal for you to spend less money. KFC's $25 fill-up bucket is available at all KFC restaurants island-wide and here for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Right on, right on. Didn't have a chance to take care of these because I wasn't working yesterday. Cody Carlson is celebrating a birthday. Our buddy Phil Letty is there. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you, and happy birthday to you, Darren Talai, and George Flores, and others. A lot of birthdays that fell yesterday. Today it looks like, let me see, Candy Tamman.
Oh, happy
Candyman.
birthday.
Candyman is celebrating a birthday today. Yeah,
Wait a minute. The dad or the son?
The dad.
Okay.
Got a birthday today.
The OG.
The OG.
Yeah.
But if you want to see the new G, he plays over.
There.
He plays over at Moses every once in a while, so that's cool. Jan Mabini is celebrating a birthday as well. Looking for something else to celebrate. It looks like the Niners are going to beat up the Cardinals today, 38-13, with still another 10 minutes left in the last quarter of that game, just starting on the fourth quarter. But it looks like the Commanders have got things handy over the Cowboys, unless they're able to pull something out of their tight end. We've got, let me see, the Rams over the Seahawks. Sorry, Keena. Rams over the Seahawks right now. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It is 16-13. But you know how the Hawks do it. You know how the Hawks do. It's and they're in possession right now. They're in possession, so they're going to be controlling the last minutes of the game. And that one there looks like it could go into overtime. Eagles over the Giants right now, 19-9 with another 10 minutes in their game. Looks like let me see here in the fourth quarter, Broncos over the Chargers. It's 31-20. I'm not ready to call that one just yet. A little bit later on, Lions and the Packers. That sounds like it's going to be a great game. Maybe I will see you someplace so we can watch it on a big screen and drink cold beers together like grown-ups do. Closing in on 10 o'clock in the morning, Fox News Live is coming up. Tall Tales, the incredible and awesome and always right, Bob Klitsky is going to be on the air starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I need you to be there and check on all of that stuff. Did I cover everything that I needed to cover? We talked about Zoe and how everybody I know is now hanging out at what is the Old Globe, Old Onyx. That's nice. Talked to Governor Carl Gutierrez. Going to be an incredible GVB meeting tomorrow, and I think there's going to be some news and headlines coming out of that. You just never know. And I did not get a chance to talk about a bunch of these teens that got busted. They're making a nuisance of themselves at somebody's house, and the police were called. One of them, drunk as a skunk, said he drank an entire bottle of rum and basically said, "Please take me to jail." You know, you wouldn't need to ask me twice if I was wearing a uniform. Hey, I got to go. Fox News Live coming up next. KUSG, I got you, 93.3. Where peak is best. This is The Point.
Fox News. President Biden paying a visit to the southern border in El Paso, Texas today, the first since taking office. Governor Greg Abbott met the president upon his arrival, saying the visit was way overdue.
He's 2 years and about $20 billion too late. He needs to step up and take swift action, including reimbursing the state of Texas for the money that we spent, but providing more resources for the federal government.
The president will attend a summit in Mexico City this week with the leaders of Canada and Mexico. In Brazil,
Muita gente lá fora, pessoal.
Supporters of Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro invaded government buildings today.